So, how do you want to kick this off?
I'll just go around, say our names and our character names, and what race, class.
Please.
Sounds okay.
Go ahead.
Alright, Chair, I'm Chris. I'm playing Radovan Boros. He's a human fighter.
I'm Brandon. I'm playing Varus. I'm a Kier. I'm a level 1 warlock.
I am Robert. I'm playing the human monk Mercer.
Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm playing the human paladin Gildas.
I'm Hannah. I will be playing a half-elven druid, and her name is Sybil.
I'm Avery. I'm playing a human rogue, and his name's Valendrin.
And I'm Botanizo, I'm God.
Okay.
Hello,
Right there.
God.
Hello, God.
So,
Bow before thee.
where we last left off, you all had hired on to protect a caravan traveling through the Dragonfoot Mountains. Svensson says that he needs some help guarding his precious loot on his journey south through the mountains. His ultimate destination is Kressani, the capital city of the Kressani, who dwell in the mountains. You all hired on, and you had been put up in lodgings for the night. And as described earlier today in our little prelude, the night is full of storms. Some of you can sleep, and your dreams are pervaded by a dark storm that seems unearthly. The cold bites. Even in your dreams, you wake up shivering from it. Those of you who can't sleep, spend the night listening to the wind howling outside and the rain coming, checking your packs over and over again, trying to reassure yourselves everything's going to be okay. We're good to go. We're just going to go. It's just a caravan. We're just going to take a caravan through the mountains, stroll through the park, right? It's not too bad. Some of you from the area, you know it around a little bit. So, and so that's where we start, coming out in the morning. So, you all pile out of your lodgings. I'm going to assume you all had something to eat or whatever you usually do in the mornings. And you find Svensson nervously running back and forth along the length of 9 wagons that constitute his caravan.
Big caravan.
Yep.
9 wagons.
9.
So, along with Svensson running around taking care of his caravans or watching over his caravans, you see 3 other notable characters also there as well. So, the first 2 I'll introduce are also Kressani mountain folk. There's a female and a male. They look remarkably similar. They gotta be related. Dark hair, brown eyes, both of them. The female, she's a little stout. She's got some charisma to her, but it's really kind of rough. She doesn't look like somebody that you trifle with in particular. And she's running up and down the length of the caravan, checking on the condition of the wagons, and making sure that everything's secured the best that she possibly can. Moving a little more, ambling around them and looking more off into the distance, off into the mountains, is the male. He's very tall, like 6'5", very broad, dressed in skins, and has a huge 2-handed sword on his back. He's also got. He looks like a nice guy. He could be a nice guy. He's just really big. He's a really big dude. So there's those 2, and standing alongside, also by the caravan, and just sort of taken in the morning, is Durgan, a dwarf. He's dressed in monk's robes. Not typical. Most dwarves wear their beards and their hair rather ornately braided. He's got the typical kilt that the dwarves wear. His head is shaved, and he's a tattoo around his head there, kind of like a band, like a headband there. He seems really placid, kind of zoned and just like he's taking in the scenery there. Svensson sees you come out, and he rushes over. Oh, my friends, my friends, my friends! I'm so glad to see you. Would you please turn your attention to Honya over there? She'll give you your orders. So he points directly at the human, the Kressani human female who's been running up and down. Honya, please come here. These are the other guards I told you about. So she seems a little irritated with Svensson, and some of you probably can understand why. He's just a little bit nervous. He's an interesting fellow. So along comes this Kressani woman, whose name apparently is Honya. She walks over and just takes in the sight of you all for a minute. I'm glad to have you aboard. This is very treacherous territory we're going to be going through today. My brother and I are happy to guide this caravan as our mother did back in the day. We know these paths very well, but there's far too much danger out between here and our destination for he and I to protect this caravan all by ourselves. So I'm very glad to have you aboard. But I need you to listen to me when I tell you to do something. Are we good on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
Very good. Very good. So make yourselves useful. Get your gear stowed in the backmost wagon there. And I'd like to have one of you, at least one of you by each one of the wagons. 6, 7 of you all total, 9 wagons. So find one that you're comfy with and station yourselves there. We'll be traveling afoot alongside the wagons as we make our way down the mountain.
Which one are you going to be in?
I'll be in the last one.
The last one.
I'm gonna be in the last one.
I'll take the
I'll
middle.
go
I'm gonna
first
guard
to
the
you.
front.
I'll take the middle.
Oh,
I'll
of
take
course
the
you're going to
wagon.
guard the front.
I'll take the wagon closest to the other monk.
Third
No,
one
I'm hanging
from
around him,
last.
so
Yeah, no. That's,
I can't
I
remember
think
you
it
put
would
that
be
way for
smart.
me. Hold on.
Okay, sorry. So
Did you get down
I got
what you
5.
wanted to do at the front?
Valandrin's in the back.
yep.
Radovan.
Radovan is in number 5.
Whichever one is closest to the dwarven monk is what I'll take.
Okay, he's just kind of off to the side right now.
Oh,
You could
I'll take
approach
the
him.
I'll take the third one, but I will
Third one?
approach him.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right.
I'll take the 7th.
The 7th one? Okay. That's Eris. Eris is going to line up behind you there. And then, which one were you going to?
I'll take the front.
Sybil will take the second one behind him.
Gildas and Sybil.
Charles.
Most excellent. So you station yourselves, you stash your gear in the backs of the wagons that you're standing next to, so you don't have to lug all of that around.
Still everything but my
you
weapons.
want to
Yeah.
Same here.
I'm
hang on to your own stuff.
Yes.
I'll steal my pack, but I'm keeping my weapons on me.
Okay, yep.
Yeah,
Makes
I'll
perfect
do the
sense.
same.
I'll fill my pack as well.
Okay,
I'll steal my pack and my tools.
okay, awesome. The weather's indeed very gloomy. There's definitely clouds overhead. It's got that dark sort of twilight feeling to the day already, and it's still morning. Doesn't look like it's going to be bright. It's definitely going to rain. It hasn't started yet. The temperature has dropped since last night, so it's chilly. It's not really cold, but it's chilly. This is autumn, so we're looking at starting to get into the cooler part of the year. Okay. So, anybody else doing anything wild? So, at this moment, Honya's running up and down, securing straps on him. One of the wagon's wheels has come loose, and so she's managing to try and get it set into place. Her brother helps the wagon up by himself, enough for her to actually secure the wheel back onto it and sets it back down again. Seems like a friendly guy. Seems like a really friendly guy. He's really big.
You say so.
I don't know, his size intimidates me quite a bit. I don't know about that.
So, are you going to talk to the...
Yes, I would love to talk to this Durgan monk.
Okay.
I'll approach him and say, "Well, hello, I see you are a fellow monk.
A brother of the cloth. It's nice to meet you. My name's Dungan.
My name is Mercer.
Nice to meet you, Mercer.
Very nice to meet you as well.
Where have you studied?
I've studied. Where have I studied?
From the Great Woods, the monastery in the Great Woods.
I have studied from the monastery in the Great Woods.
Apparently.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
You have?
I've come from the monastery up north here.
A monastery up north.
Yes.
I'm trying to travel to that monastery.
It's a good thing you didn't make it. We've been overrun. That's why I'm here.
Oh, well, that brings me sadness.
The big
What-
water tears.
You're
What has
not
happened?
Frost giants in the north, trolls and the like coming down out of the mountains. It's an ugly business. Things became increasingly unstable, difficult with the casualties we suffered to hold the monastery in light of their attacks. So many of us fled, trying to carry the teachings forth into the world. So you were heading there to study?
Yes, I was heading there to try and improve my abilities.
Very nice. Well, I'd be happy to impart to you anything that I can along those lines. That is my mission.
Well, I would love to learn.
Excellent. Well, if you'll excuse me, I must check with the caravan leader and see if she needs anything from me, but I look forward to working with you.
Look forward to working with you as well.
Excellent.
All right.
So, as he turns to walk away, you notice he's got this funny two little clubs, it looks like, tucked into his belt back here. There's a little short length of chain in between the two of them. Looks like they're made out of metal, something like that. So, interesting chap. So, wagons are loaded. You're all stationed. You can see that the larger of the two Kressani humans has started to work his way down the path off into the mountains. And Honya at the head there is like, all right, wagons ho! And so there's, at each wagon, there's a human driving the horses, sort of stable boys, most of them like teenagers. If you got hit by anything along the trail, they're probably not gonna make it.
Oh, that sounds
So you got wagons and you got people worth taking care of, and it's probably on the order of a week's travel to get to where you're going. You could inform everybody about that because you know, oh shoot, Kressani, yeah, that's not near here. We're going to be walking for a while.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
What if he chooses to do that?
So,
Do you choose to say that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's
okay.
gonna be a while.
Okay.
You scream at
Sorry.
Hey everybody!
It's gonna be a while. Pass it on.
More time to make friends.
How
Rather
about
away
you
from home to me.
I swear the weather can't even dampen your cheer. It's crazy.
You're just in an optimistic mood the entire time. You're just like,
That's the only
oh,
mood he
I'm
has.
dead. Well, at least,
Well, at least I have-
at least I have friends.
At least I died with a friend.
So the wagon heaves out, the wagon train heaves out rather slowly. Everything creaks along. These roads, right? So the Dragonfoot Mountains are really essentially towns. The habitation there are really essentially towns carved into the mountain, out of the stone of the mountain. There's sparse vegetation, so there's not a whole lot of wood in the construction of the buildings and the towns for the most part. There's some that's been transported in, of course, from Silva D, from the Great Woods down south. But for the most part, the Kressani have built a lot of this out of the stone of their homelands. And so the roads connecting them are essentially what paths they could cut between one town and another. So between towns, there isn't any civilization. As soon as you leave town, you enter the wilderness. And that's where you're going to be until you come to the next town.
I found a place.
Aye.
So, the weather's grim, it's cold, and then not an hour after you set out, the rain starts.
Gross.
And it doesn't start lightly. It sort of goes from, it's about to rain, it's about to rain, it's about to, deluge. So it's coming down in buckets, which reduces your visibility quite a bit.
Yeah. Absolutely no time.
And so it seems you're going to pass the day walking in buckets of rain. How do you plan to spend your time while you're doing this? Anything in particular you care to do while you're...
I'm just gonna mumble angrily about the rain.
Is there any patch of dead grass as we are sort of on this trail? If so, if there's any dead grass, any sort of vegetation that seems to be sort of dying or dead, I just cast Druidcraft and just kind of make little flowers.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So, not much in the way of grasses here, but there's a lot of little herbaceous plants growing out of rocks and spots and places. You recognize some of them from where you come from.
All right.
And most of the ones that you recognize, are annuals. They're bound to pass with the end of the season, but if you wanted to, you could bring a little light and life to this little patch.
Yeah, because that's all what Druidcraft does. Is just you can create like plants and stuff, make them bigger, make them...
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do that. Every time I see like a little patch of grass, I'm just going to be like, oh, okay.
Nice. Nice. Shaking your head over there, Mr. Optimist.
Hey, this is quite literally Sybil's neck of the woods. Quite literally. Because she's from the woods.
Yeah. So anybody else have anything in particular you want to engage in here?
No.
I'm used to
Just
standing guard. I'm used to standing guard in the rain, so
Okay.
just pull my hood up and trench through it.
Just make a little optimistic.
I'm gonna bring
Humming,
out my
just do-
robes.
Yeah, we have Optimus.
Duncan approaches you during the course of the day,
Two optimistic
and
people
he
hanging
says,
out,
"So
what the fuck
you
is
were
wrong?
looking
What
to
is wrong?"
study Drunken Fist, probably, right? That's what we're known for there.
Yes.
Is that correct? Have you learned any of that?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, that's a good thing because I can teach you a couple of things while we're walking."
That would.
And he takes on this really weird, crazy gait while he's walking that just looks almost like he's stumbling.
I'm just imagining like
Just
skipping.
walk like this.
And then just humming and then just...
So you try and imitate him for some time. It's extremely
Just
hard on your legs. Your leg muscles start to fatigue rather quickly. And that's when he starts to chuckle. He goes, "It's not as easy as it looks, is it?"
No, it's not.
Just keep up with it. So he works his way up and down the caravan, practicing his drunk walk, right, and leaves you and checks in periodically to see how you're doing with it. So lesson number 1, I guess.
Haven't walked like a drunk.
Which caravan or which wagon is he on?
So Mercer's in wagon 3, and Dungan's just keeping himself busy walking back
Just
and
trudging
forth.
through a rain and just looks like this idiot's drunk in the middle of his job.
Hey, he gets over to you and he's smiling the whole time. He's just like, "Good day."
Wish I had some of what he has.
We're still mumbling. It'll be a long
still
time.
mumbling. Stupid crappy weather. Why the fuck?
So
What?
During this time, I'll just be
Mumble.
talking to Eris and
It's a lot
talking
of
about
fucking
home
garbage.
and how we're gonna get there.
yeah, Eris is in the dumps, just sort of, "Oh, how do we get stuck here? Just want to go home again. This is just not cool."
Yeah.
Doing a lot of grumbling. So during the course of the walk, as you all are starting to set out,
Hates
you
everything.
can't see the large human anymore, but you can see Honya working her way up and down the caravan. She marches to the back. She spends most of her time looking out from the caravan. So as far as she can see behind the caravan and off to the side, up on the mountain, she preoccupies herself the entire day with moving up and down the caravan and keeping an eye out. She doesn't seem necessarily versed to conversation if anybody wants to engage her in any, but she's going to stay occupied, keeping an eye on the countryside. And there's no sign of her brother.
I'm socially awkward.
Well, she comes by me. As she comes by my wagon, she's like, "You got a lot of problems in the past with getting attacked? Seem pretty paranoid."
These mountains are dangerous these days.
That is true.
My mother used to guide caravans through the mountains, and the whole time she's talking to you, she's looking off in the distance. She used to guide caravans through the mountains. She got lost here. Goblins, hobgoblins. This place is really dangerous these days. And I just want to see this company through to the end of the journey. She recognizes your clan colors and acknowledges your family line. Says it's good to meet one of you.
I do.
You can recognize her clan colors as well. One of those families that was either held in really high esteem or had created some friction and arguments with other families among the Kressani. For your own line's worth, there wasn't much connection between your family and her family, but you recognize that most families from where you come up know hers, either for good or ill. Let's see. All right. So, marching along, dark, torrential rain. Somewhere along midday, Honya calls the caravan to a halt where you actually reach a part where the trail gets wide enough for about 2 caravans and begins to flatten out. This is one of the difficulties that you start to recognize, is if there's any other caravans coming this way, somebody's going to have to back up in order for the 2 of them to pass, because the trail's not wide enough for more than 1 wagon, and then maybe somebody standing alongside it at any point in time, except for a few spots where it widens out just a little bit. So if anybody's been down backcountry roads, okay, good.
It's kind of all there.
Kind of situation
All
where
there is
you're at.
if you-
So she calls the company to a halt when you get to a part where the trail widens out enough to actually pull the wagons off to the side, and orders some of the wagon drivers to put on cook fires and prepare a midday meal for the company. Ask you to please take your meal back to your wagon and keep watch out caravans that are still ripe prey for goblins.
Is it still downpouring?
It started to slacken a little bit. It's
Okay.
I mean, it's raining. It's not misting. It is raining, but compared to the downpour, it feels like it's misting. So there's going on. And as you
Don't remember when
come to a halt, the Honya's brother comes back. She sees him, and you hear her call out his name. His name apparently is Ox. He comes running over to her when she calls his name. He's got a big smile on his face. And it hits you all of a sudden what it is about this person that makes him seem like just a really nice guy. He's got a child's face. Looks kind of simple. Not stupid, but simple. He's a big guy though. So he comes over to her. The 2 of them confer amongst themselves for some time, and then he lopes off off to the side of the caravan. He's been taking the point up to this point, and now he seems to be doing a scout around to the back. Put on cook fires and make up some simple stew that they had, some stage of preparation, and you're given bowls and utensils and whatnot, and just asked to chow down and keep an eye on your own wagons there. So let's see. I want to do a perception roll, and I'm going to need some help with
All right.
interpreting these things. So,
How difficult do you want it to be?
quite actually. So, what are we on? 1 to 20?
It's on a scale of 1 to 20, and depending on how hard you want to make it.
Chart here for
Okay.
how difficult you want it to be. You can
Okay.
adjust it how you want.
Yep.
Okay.
That's terrible. Okay.
So 8,
Yes, but what are your
13.
13,
skills?
Yeah, I got
Um,
13,
17.
13,
Oh,
17,
Perception is a wisdom.
14.
Wisdom.
14,
12.
12. Okay.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Alrighty.
it's okay. I'm too busy bruising.
You're too busy like mumbling to yourself. You're like, oh.
My hood is just soaked and pulled down half over my face. I can't see a crap.
I'm just,
My face is just completely soaked. Everything, my
I'm just
hair,
looking at the caravan.
my clothes are all
Not
I'm
soaked.
looking at this strange person complaining behind us.
I'm just kind of keeping to myself and just,
Don't look at me.
I don't know if reading super or not, but I'm just kind of sitting there and just kind of.
Okay. So, Ox rejoins the group at some point in time where they all are chowing down. He eats 2 bowls of stew, He's a big guy. And as soon as everything's done, and Honya says, "All right, saddle up," and gets the drivers back in their seats to start moving wagons again, Ox again disappears to the point out in front of the caravan. Wherever he goes to, however far he is in the lead, you really can't see him from the front. Some of it's a function of the fact that it's raining. Now the rain started to slacken. There's still a lot of moisture in the air and it's cool, so it's starting to create some kind of a fog. This is really crappy weather to be guiding a caravan through the mountains in, of course. That's going to happen. So, wagons start heaving out and y'all resume your normal march. Everything else the same.
What are these wagons made of?
So they're largely wood, canvas tops.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure if they were like a solid box or if they were like Oregon Trail style.
Yeah, Oregon Trail style is what
Okay.
I kind of got in mind.
Okay.
So iron rimmed wheels, and like a pliant wood sort of frames to those things.
I was hoping they were like solid wood so I could just sit on top of it and keep a better electricity.
That would be pretty good. A very light framed character might be able to pull.
Yeah,
that
I
off,
can't do that.
but yeah, that's definitely not your dude. That's
Okay.
right.
Is there any sort of... So, I kind of already asked this question, but I'm going to kind of ask it again. Basically, what I want Sybil to do is if she sees any sort of flower or plant, she's just going to kind of, like, pick it and kind of keep it.
Okay.
She's going to start keeping plants and stuff.
Okay.
First you grow them, then you
spell
kill them.
components.
Huh?
First you grow them, now you kill them.
Just kind
So-
of get a little
so-
child innocence in a way, you know?
Is that collecting like spell components or potions?
A little of both,
cards?
a little of both.
Okay.
Like, I'm not sure what I need in terms of components yet. I don't think I took anything that needs components yet, but,
Okay.
you know,
That's not bad.
I'm going to keep it. If it's not for components, it's going to be like a scrapbooking thing. Going to keep them pressed in a book or something like that.
So we got two of you who are spellcasters?
Yes.
Is that right,
Yes.
essentially? Okay.
Yes.
So remember on Kalebros, the gods favor those who put effort and energy into creating magic. And so if you put effort and energy into collecting spell components, particularly nice spell components, your spells might actually be more effective down the road.
So I got a question for you when it comes to terms of like spells and stuff like that. So I've got Lay on Hands, and that's what's known as a cantrip,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Yep.
So I can use it unlimited amount of times, and what it lets me do is heal. What is it? Heal. I have it written down, but it's like one.
It's 5 times your paladin level
That's what that says.
Yeah.
per day.
Yeah. So I can heal someone up to 5 hit points at my current point right now per day,
Mm-hmm.
or neutralize a poison or disease.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work for me?
Oh,
You
so
don't need components.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So just remember that on Kalebros, everybody who lives here is aware the gods actually exist. There's none of this, I don't believe in them. They
Yeah.
are real. And the connection between the material plane you're on and the ethereal plane where the gods reside, that's very real. It's tricky business, and even the gods have difficulty moving back and forth, so the lore says.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do and what you say in invoking the name of a deity has great ramifications for
Okay.
what actually happens.
Okay.
So material components for spells is just one aspect of that whole process.
Okay.
Ralik, the god of magic, is very interested in really nice versions of spell components and might actually grant your magic greater power if you use a very nice spell component in the casting of a spell. But all the gods will respond to you calling them by name. So you'll develop an affinity for some of them, perhaps, and just get their names in your head so that you can do that during battle or tense moments.
Okay.
See how those things go. So, cool. So you're collecting some plants.
Yeah, what kind of plants are sort of around me?
So, there's, like I said, a lot of herbaceous plants. So there's a few that you recognize as being components of some druid spells, some that you don't have currently in your knowledge base, but that you know that those are valuable ones to pick up. There's some woody plants as well. Some of them, might actually be used for making wands out of. Some types of wood are actually good for making wands, and other types are not. And so you recognize some of those wheat plants that are off the side of the trail. Yeah.
Could I take some of the?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna look around, like just kind of making sure I have everything, all my smithing tools and stuff like that. Just looking through and making sure it's all there.
Okay. Gotcha. So, cool. Dungan checks back in with you with his drunken walk. How are you doing? Are you trying to keep that up?
I'm trying to keep it
You're
up.
trying to keep that up? Okay. It's a bit taxing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll just have to keep that in mind if we have to do a stamina check or something like that. But you could tell if you did this like all day, you would have some serious leg muscles in the end. And who knows what that might do for your balance. It seems sometimes like he's teetering completely off balance, but he never goes over. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. So that's Dungan, right? He's whoa, 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 and he just, but he's always on his feet.
Jar Jar.
Not that annoying. Not that annoying. Absolutely not that annoying.
That's
So-
terrible.
Ponyak continues to march up and down the length of the caravan, always looking off into the distance. Another perception check.
Ooh. Can I actually do it this time?
Wow. Okay.
That's a little better.
That's an 18.
Even worse.
That is
14.
Yeah,
14,
nine.
15,
I got
16.
23.
Unnatural 20.
I'm too busy brooding again.
Wow. 23, 20,
18.
18,
9.
8.
8, 9. Okay.
Plus
too
4 to
busy
wisdom.
paying
It's
I got
great.
good perception.
All right.
Plus 4 to wisdom. Woohoo.
Me and my
So,
dad.
No.
I'm so sad.
we want to do this because the three of you are going to see something that the three of you are not going to
I
see.
mean, you could say it out loud, and they don't. They
I
just.
mean, I'm not gonna metagame.
I mean,
so
just
Yeah.
can't react
Our
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
no.
exactly.
Okay. So there's fog,
Mhm.
right? There's cloud cover, so it's dark. There is fog, but the three of you see distinctly shapes moving amongst the rocks, not 100 yards off the trail. Small humanoid shapes, very greenish,
You can,
ducking
you
behind
can tell the
rocks.
skin color or the general
Multiples
color.
of them.
I
It's
go up
hard
to
to count.
I go up to him because he's in front of me, and I go, "Hey, Gildas, there's something moving up there.
I see it. I believe there are some creatures out there.
Should
I would
we-
like to hug them.
Now's
Like
not
to
the time
stick
for
them
hugging.
in. Give a hug. Hug
Give
them
me a
until
hug.
they die. Hug them to death.
No, but in all seriousness, shouldn't we warn the others?
Sure.
Who's behind me?
I am.
And you saw it too, so.
No, I didn't.
No.
Oh no, you
No.
didn't. I thought you did.
I saw something
did.
the first time.
Okay. And I sort of like poke my head and kind of try to grab your attention. I go,
I'll tell
I'm
Boros
walking.
if he saw
Walking
anything,
drunkenly,
because you're
yeah.
right ahead of me.
"Are you okay over there?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
be
fine.
like, hey, did you see those
okay,
things over there?
See what?
There's
A lot-
there's something
there's
moving out
at
there,
least
and
a lot of them.
it's not
They-
really
I
something
couldn't
I'm
tell
really
what they were. They're small.
confident
Did you
in
see it?
doing on my own. Should
Can I
we?
try again now that I know
What's
what
the
I mean,
most-
you
What's
try
the
and warn the
something
others
Yeah,
behind you,
absolutely.
What's
kind
the
of
most-
pass it on.
Make it
Must
a
have been the thing I
plus.
saw earlier. I saw
Maybe,
something, but it wasn't.
17.
maybe I don't know,
17, okay.
but just tell the others behind you. Send it down the line.
I'll pass it back to
Okay,
So I can tell there's something, but I still can't really see what's.
who's
going
behind
on.
you?
Brad Avenue.
Okay,
There. What's your character name?
Sybil.
Sybil has told me that she has seen something out in the woods.
Yeah,
I sort of yell behind you. Sort of a small creature, just kind of in the fog there.
Varys just said the same thing. I can see something moving, but I can't really tell what's going on.
Okay, so while you're
Shoes
talking,
are untied.
Ox comes running
Shoes
from
are
the
untied.
front back to the caravan. It runs up to Honya, grabs her by the shoulders, says, "Goblins."
Oh,
Shoes are really
And-
untied.
that's our reaction.
Okay, so everybody's like,
Not many
"Goblins."
shoes are
I'm
wide.
gonna start walking away.
I am.
Incoming, 3 arrows, for starters, right into the wagons
Do I
where y'all
know
are standing.
that?
Right into the
It
first
is
three.
on. They're coming. You can see them scrambling over the rocks now. It looks like easy a good dozen.
Am I noticing
Oh,
it now?
no.
That's the question.
Oh,
Am I
no.
noticing it?
Okay.
The arrow hits in front of you. You still don't notice.
Grumbling about the weather.
Yeah.
It's not time for target practice.
What is that? Don't worry about it.
So it's just.
I'm not worrying
it's just
about it.
raining arrows. It's
For
okay. It's
clarification, are
natural.
they coming up near the
Natural.
front of the caravan, or are
Completely
they coming up the
That's a
sides?
great
Okay.
question.
What can I do?
I grin.
I can't do that yet.
All right.
Great.
So,
Okay.
Warhammer around it.
so here's the setup, right? So you've got the caravan on a mountain trail. So there's a precipitous sort of fall off, maybe like 10 feet down, and some boulders where it starts to kind of roll downhill, and then more of a cliff coming up on this side. So you're basically being flanked from the right as you face the front of the caravan.
Okay.
And they're coming fast, and they look like they're in the mood to have some fun.
Okay.
I've got some with bows. You can see all of them have short swords as well. Yeah, and they're coming.
How
So,
far off are they?
how far
Wait.
off are they?
Chris, do you have Xanthars with you? Do you happen to have Xanthars?
He's got it.
Oh, he's got it. Okay.
Oh,
Can I just borrow it real quick?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
whatever
No,
you
never
need.
mind.
Okay.
I got one.
Whatever you need, because I'm
No,
just
because I need to look up a spell real quick.
okay.
So I have an idea.
So by the time
No, it is not.
they start to charge, probably 60 yards away.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
Can we
I've
tell
got
how many there are?
produce
Should
flame.
we?
You can see a dozen if you stop the count.
Oh, jeez.
I've got
Wait, guys,
produce flame, but I don't see it in here. I think it's in the other book. It might be in the other book.
Oh, you can tell they're there. Everybody's
You can probably see them right now.
Produce
60 yards away.
flame.
180 feet.
Yeah, I think my bow is.
Okay.
Let me take a look at what's up.
I can shoot from that distance. I'm just a disadvantage to do it.
I'm pretty certain I can actually shoot it.
Okay.
But I just want to make sure.
Right.
I don't
120
shoot
feet?
it.
Is that how much?
180.
180. Oh, wow.
If you roll
Okay.
for initiative, just
Yeah.
roll for me. I need to use the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll do it.
Uh,
Every time you play games.
So, so at this point, Sybil just casts produce flame in her hand,
okay.
just as a sort of.
83.
So like I can see around me, and like it's also like she's kind of trying to use it as an intimidation thing. Like back off, I have
Okay.
fire.
I'm gonna get into a
Like
combat
crossbow?
pose.
You gonna get ready?
Short bow.
Sure. Light crossbow's the same
Just-
stat as well.
Ah.
Okay. Yeah, 83 20, which I guess 80.
You mean Destiny with Eldritch
Is that
Blast?
80 normal, 80
That's
normal
that's on my
stat,
other character.
320
Dude. She's like
shoot
Eldritch Blast.
with
And I just
advantage.
thought,
Okay, so I'm definitely good.
Eldritch
If I was to
Blast.
use that, which I probably will after I roll
Damn.
initiative.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let me just actually do
It's probably gonna be like negative
So
1.
so with produce flame, I can
Alright.
see 10 feet around me. So.
Okay, so
10 feet.
Eris is going to knock an arrow.
Same. I mean, I probably have a bolt loaded in my crossbow already. Just like
Oh,
hanging on my back.
I'll
So-
take out my crossbow and have it currently on me.
I'll take
Okay.
out my
I'm
bow.
gonna get into a combat stance.
Okay.
I'll take out my bow.
Duncan was talking with you when that happened, so he pulls the weird little funky club.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, and
I'll have to ask him.
Sybil's gonna have produce flame in her hand. It's a 10-foot. I can see within 10 feet around me. It sort of lights up that area, and I could also attack with it, but I'm just gonna hold it in my hand.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Yodos is gonna whip around his warhammer a little bit
Okay.
and take a stance.
Okay. You have a shield too?
Yep, I have a
Warhammer
shield.
and a shield?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna look at
For
it.
the
And you're
Demacia.
knocking an arrow, is that right?
Yep, I'm not gonna now.
Okay. Sweet. So, I guess we need to roll initiative. Is that
Yeah.
20s
Yep.
now?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
What? Natural 20.
So you're first.
Yeah.
13.
I'd like to make let you guys know I rolled
21.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, 13.
Wait, we gotta roll off now.
That's still
Initiative
good.
8.
Yeah.
That's a 2.
So wow.
You're still going first.
Okay, so somebody help me
only
in
roll
order
So,
we're going.
so with a
I can only
natural
roll
20,
ones
he
and
goes
10s.
first.
Okay.
Automatically, regardless if anyone gets higher than a 20.
Okay.
And then it's Chris, me, because you both got a 20, what, 21? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then who's next?
I got an 18.
You got an 18. Anyone get higher than an 18? Okay, then Kyle's going next.
I got 13.
What'd you get?
6.
So then Rob and Avery.
Hey, Avery, I rolled a 5.
Yeah.
But he has
Oh,
plus
I
8.
needed
He has
to
plus
roll
8.
for
He was in
guidance.
I have +3, so I rolled a 3.
But that's okay. Eris is actually.
I'm really sad. This is gonna be a
These were some
long.
high rolls.
I rolled a 3.
That and when you have a great
What a
like
guy, Avery.
ability score
No, yours
modifier,
aren't cursed.
it's great.
They're all
Yours are
cursed.
cursed
When-
too, then, Rob.
Yeah,
Here,
whenever
you
I
have
touch.
this one. This one's
Yeah, that
already
one. That
cursed.
one's
What even
bad.
is
Oh
it?
yeah,
Oh,
maybe it
I
counters
actually like
it.
playing opponents.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Hello.
it'll counter it.
Hello. Okay.
So there's 12 of them. Some of you have missile
17.
weapons armed to go. They're coming. So the order. Do you want to hear the order that we're going to run through?
Yeah.
This one,
Sure.
including the goblins, right?
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Brandon, then Chris, then Hannah, then Kyle, then Robert, then the goblins, then Avery, then Eris.
You're like stabbing me, like I'm like ah.
Okay,
Good
so who wants to do what? There's 12 of them. They're sort of randomly sorted
Also,
across the
you go
landscape.
first.
Yeah.
Now's the time to hit them with missile weapons if that's what your intent is.
Yeah,
So
I have a
fine.
crossbow out, and I'll try to hit one of the oncoming goblins with swords.
Okay.
You said they're still like you said 60 yards out.
Yeah.
So it's a disadvantage roll.
Disadvantage roll. So I roll twice.
Yep. Take them over.
Why'd you
We
say
gotta do
this,
the
Chris?
same. We gotta do the same thing, man.
Oh no, I got 5.
5.
Oh, no.
Okay, and so
So why?
help me out with this one here.
I
If
don't
their AC is
I know.
15,
Yeah, no, it doesn't hit.
misses. Okay, so it's you just got to
You gotta
hit
hit
the
the
AC.
AC.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you roll a 15 or higher,
Okay.
you would have hit.
So why
Perfect,
was he
thank
at disadvantage for 60 feet?
Is it
See,
because the
yeah.
range
Because the
isn't?
range on a
It's really
bow
messy.
isn't.
Oh,
it's a crossbow.
gotcha.
That's
Right.
range on the bow.
The, it's,
Yep,
the range on a
it's-
bow is 80 feet,
Okay.
and they're at 80. They're at 80 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
You
so
can
this
shoot up
is
to 320 with it, but it's at disadvantage if you go past 80.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So you'll have, let's see, 30. So what? Another round or two to be able to hit them at missile range before they're actually on you.
Before no, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Sweet. So Brandon misses. You
I
firing
mean,
two?
if they're
Are you gonna
102
move at all?
They're 160 feet. They're moving 30. That's 8 rounds before they can get to us.
Oh wow! Right on. Yep.
Unless they're 80 feet away and not 80 yards.
So what was I saying? 60 yards.
Or yeah, 60 yards.
Yeah.
60 years and I wouldn't be enough.
But if it was 60
180
feet,
feet.
Yeah.
30 feet around.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a little bit.
we'll get there.
So okay. Not to.
That happens.
Well,
You could change it.
let's run with it. Let's run with it.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
Cool.
Okay.
Chris.
So you're gonna hold.
Yeah, I'm
you're
just
gonna
gonna-
fire?
I'm gonna hold because they're still way out. There's no point in wasting a crossbow bolt when I only have 20 to begin with.
Okay.
You can always buy
You
some
can
more.
always move closer too.
I could. Actually, I'll probably move 30 feet out.
Okay. Off the trail into the rocks.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm gonna kind of move. I'm gonna move and I'm gonna try to go. So I'm kind of in the caravan right now. I'm gonna go to the outside to the right, so I'm like facing them. I'm gonna cast produce flame in front of me and just kind of create like a little controlled flame. Try to get them to stay away from the caravan.
okay. Okay.
That's gonna be my turn.
Okay. Which
I'm-
way to go? That's
I'm gonna go ahead, and I'm going to kind of go a little ways away from the front of the caravan. But I remember being told to stay your post if danger was coming, so I'm gonna stay within distance of that first one,
okay. Gotcha.
just in case some other goblins decide to try and sneak up.
Gotcha.
I love where I have both the pages open. At the same page.
All right.
Yeah.
And then
Literally.
Since all I can do is punch with my fist, I'm gonna get 30 feet closer to them.
okay, so you're moving off the trail. You're moving off the trail.
You can't do a ranged punch. Just
I mean, hey, if we're all connected, I can punch them.
Just create a chain of like, people just holding each other, and then just Rob just.
Just starts punching them like, no.
Okay, so let's see.
Deny
Well, that's
it.
convenient. There's 12 of them, and there's 6 of you, and I guess that. So I'll roll for the goblins once. I have to roll for 12 different goblins.
It's up to you.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's keep it simple for starters, and I'll roll for the goblins once. So they're each gonna try and 2 are each gonna try and target you. So I'll do
So-
one roll for the first
And it's a ranged
goblin,
attack.
and then another for the second
Okay.
attack. They're goblins. They're just gonna shoot, right? I mean,
Yeah, I gotta think
give them
of
a
it.
shotgun, they'll shoot at a rocket.
Sounds like
Okay.
fun.
Okay, so the first round, so 17. Is that
That's gonna hit
It's probably all of us.
all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Safe.
Oh no! The one.
I'm done with you.
What is it? 18?
18.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
I have a 16.
So,
Okay, so
I would have had a 16 if I had my
But
shield though, but I didn't specify, so I
they're
assumed I
really
didn't.
crappy arrows, and they're not particularly effective as you see them incoming there. So rolling a
Shoot,
d4,
that's
so
crazy.
2 points.
2
Good points.
Down to 8.
I'm down to 10.
That's 7.
Me too.
I have a tiny bit of health.
Yeah, because you're a rogue.
Yeah, I had 9, so now I'm at 7.
Okay, and then the second batch of them.
It's a little bit scary right now.
Yeah, I'll hit again.
Is it a 20?
It's a 19.
Oh my!
God.
They can hit you now this
Is that
time.
number 2?
They're gonna hit you.
Oh, he's gonna find
A
out.
high rolls.
3 points.
Oh, that brings me to 4.
Okay, 2 points.
Wow.
So that's.
You know what?
Seven.
Any point of health can
Fine.
save my
I
life.
don't need to see
Oh,
from
no.
That
there.
might be useful.
Rob,
So-
PTSD.
Stop.
PTSD
Honya,
much?
Honya yells, "Take cover!" You can see the boys driving the wagons duck back into the wagons right immediately. They didn't really need any prompting
I'm gonna run.
on that. She works her way behind the wheel of the wagon, one of the wheels of the wagon that she's standing next to, and Ox jumps off into the rocks there. He's going for them. He doesn't really seem to care
Talking out.
about that. So,
I would like to rage.
Question.
all right, yes.
If I moved out 30 feet and I'm out among the rocks, would that give me some kind of cover from the
Yeah,
arrows
sure.
that we just
Ooh.
shot?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much?
So how would we do that?
There should be a little chart there too.
I also
Unless that's
went
only
to
in the
the
new
rocks.
one.
No,
Cover.
there is a
Oh,
cover
yeah,
chart.
yeah, yeah.
I also went to the rocks.
So
Half cover, quarter
I went behind
cover.
the wheel. They're hurting me.
So depending on whether you're going to actively use the rocks for cover, in which case I give you 3/4 cover, or if you're going to be moving amongst the rocks and just counting on being in the rocks as cover, then I can give you half cover.
Half cover's fine for me.
Half cover for that? Okay. So it's going to be +2 to your AC and Dex savings.
I will move with Boros if I can. Is it your turn or?
No, it's
No,
it's,
it's-
the goblins' turn.
Avery's
So,
turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
what was the
But
second
can
attack?
we
What
move
was-
during
I
their
don't know,
turn?
what was
That's the
number?
thing.
Oh,
Oh,
it was
okay.
3.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure
What
if we
was the,
can.
no, the actual attack?
No.
roll.
Oh,
What did
no.
19?
I was
19?
gonna say, I
So
don't
that
know.
was still
I don't
I
think
would
I'm
first
actually
one.
behind the wheel right now. I
Okay,
think I'm still
gotcha.
standing out there. We can
So I,
do
Okay,
this.
so, and you have the same going on?
yeah,
Rob?
I
Okay.
just changed my hit points.
Okay, awesome.
Back up to
Awesome.
7.
Sweet.
Oh, that's good. That's
So-
good. Not 4.
Avery.
What you thinking?
Okay, so due to my health situation, first, do they get any closer? Or
They're continuing to move.
Okay.
Yep.
okay, so
How
then,
close are we?
yeah, they're definitely not 80 feet away.
Probably not.
Hmm.
I mean, they could.
How
move.
far away is the paladin from me?
So let's see. Gildas
I was gonna
is.
say you're in the one all the way in the back. He's in the
Yeah.
one all the way up in the front.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's the
Okay.
exact opposite end of the caravan from you.
He's all the way in the front.
Decisions to brood bite me.
I did just realize too. Any goblin that's adjusted running towards us
Alright.
and isn't shooting
So
could move
You
60
just
feet.
duck and hide.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I
Because
think
they could use their full movement, their full action to dash.
Okay.
So
Okay.
That
Gotcha.
too.
I think I'm gonna take cover behind the wheel
Okay.
because
Sounds prudent.
don't exactly want to get shot again.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But I'll be waiting if I'm gonna get closer.
Like
For now.
defend your single.
Yeah. But for now, I'll be behind the wheel
Okay. Gotcha.
until I can find the paladin.
Paladins make good shields. All
They
right.
do though.
Paladin has a shield.
Sitting over there
Paladin
smiling.
has a
He
shield.
does have a shield.
Okay, so
If you get scared by something, that doesn't help.
you two moved off into the rocks. Are you continuing to? So we'll start back to the cycle again. You'll be the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm behind the rocks still, right? I'm behind the rocks now, right?
If that's what you want to do this round.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay. Okay. So you're moving off the trail into the rocks. Are you using the rocks for cover, or are you
Yes,
just moving amongst
for
them?
cover.
So you'll get 3/4 cover from the rocks.
Okay.
So that's +5 to your AC.
Plus 5.
Okay. So
Oh.
you're moving off the trail into the
Found some
rocks.
rocks instead.
I'm assuming that's legit, like a full round of
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that? Okay. Cool. Cool. Alrighty, sir.
Alright, I'm gonna move, based on them moving towards us, guessing if I move like probably 20 feet closer to them, I'll probably be in range to actually attack. So I'm gonna move probably another 10, 20 feet closer to them,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna take a shot with a crossbow.
Okay, and you can see one clearing a boulder
Yeah.
within distance that you can make a shot at.
It's 13.
Dang, misses.
Okay. And
But you have his attention now. He's
Oh,
gonna
that's
come
good.
talk to you.
that's good.
He's gonna come talk to
He
you.
wants to know how
He's
you're
even
doing.
gonna talk to you.
Have them all talk to you while I
And then
figure
I
out what
will
I'm doing.
duck back and kind of behind a rock.
Okay.
So try to get like actually behind it for my my turn
Okay.
to use it as cover.
Gotcha.
Alright. So, how far away are they from me now? If I'm still with the caravan?
You're still with the caravan, so I gotta work this man out better in my head. So
Bring a battle map next time.
60
Yeah,
yards
that'd be
last time,
great.
but they're moving at 60.
There's
So
one in the back.
120 feet.
We could use that.
right. So
Mm-hmm.
they should be.
Do you want to ask?
It's just
Oh, okay.
So they're probably what 200 feet out.
They should be 120 feet out.
120 feet out.
That's what they
Okay.
should have.
Yep.
Should be right around
Gotcha.
there.
I trust you. That's awesome.
Okay.
It's about 120 feet away.
Okay.
think you're bound.
So the wagons themselves, how are they set up? Can I just like, are they like the Oregon Trail ones with like the thing on the top? Okay, I'm just gonna duck in to one of them.
Okay. I'm gonna duck into one of the wagons.
Yep. Be completely covered.
You put the flame away, right?
Do I or do I? Well, what it is
All of a sudden it
it's.
catches on fire.
Well, I mean,
It's the
it's far
alcohol.
enough away from the. I put it 10 feet out in front of the van. The
Well, I was
caravan,
thinking
so
you
it's-
still had it in your hand.
Yeah.
Oh no no
that's-
Oh,
yeah no 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 I threw it I
Right.
threw it.
Gotcha.
So it's just kind of on the ground in front of. Yeah, just bring the fire the wagon.
Well, looks
No,
like
no,
looks
no,
like
no,
the
no.
druid.
You just see the caravan burning in the distance. You're like, well, okay.
So you duck into the wagons. You're gonna put the fire out, or you're not gonna? Put the
It's
fire
gonna
out?
stay out, like I'm imagining, like the wagon's here. I duck in, and the fire's like over here,
Okay. That
and
works.
it's just a small fire.
Okay. Cool. So what's up to Gildas?
So how far away are the rocks?
Well, they're just right off the trail, essentially. If you're
Yeah.
not on the trail, you're in amongst the rocks.
I'm gonna go ahead and help out my friends and go into the rocks.
Okay.
I'm still at the wheel.
Friends.
Come back, friends.
Okay. So you're moving.
Come to need the power.
I'm
I'm just
I need
throwing
you more
dice
than the
just for
rocks.
no apparent
I
reason.
need help.
And that gives me. It was +5.
If are you using the rocks for cover, or are you just moving amongst the rocks?
Actors moving amongst the rocks.
Moving amongst the rocks. That's
+2.
It's right off to the
Perfect.
side, yeah.
awesome. Alrighty,
Alright.
Mercer.
I'm going to move 30 feet and get behind a rock and use it to cover.
Okay, gotcha. You could see where like next round you could start working on one of them.
Alright.
They're just coming up that way. Spot a nice rock. You can get there this round. Next round would be right there where you can launch a wall.
Kick one right in the face.
Awesome. Okay. So we're just
Monk.
continuing to move.
Break
Alright,
its
so
Did it break its neck
goblins.
too now?
Goblins go again. And another, and so these arrows are going at. Okay, and you said Brandon, you moved into the rocks.
Oh, yeah, it's every single one.
Anna's taking cover.
Dead road.
Like complete cover. I'm
Everybody's
just like
taking
in with the
cover.
goods and all that. Like I don't. What is around me? Out of curiosity.
Ooh,
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
the third wagon. What's around me?
Okay.
All the
actually don't need animals.
All animals. Yes.
Crates. It's like crates of stuff.
There's
They're like
little-
all nailed shut.
Okay,
and
so I don't know
everything.
what's
It's
in
just
them.
really kind of hard
Okay,
to tell what's actually
fair
in
enough.
there.
Fair enough.
Okay. So they're gonna let loose a volley at the caravan. They're not targeting individuals. So because all of you either moved into the rocks or you're taking cover, but they're still. I mean, they're goblins, right? That's what they're gonna do.
Just gotta shoot at something.
Oh, and look at that. That's a really fun little 7. So, random crappy goblin arrows rain down on the caravan. All of you have taken cover. Like, those of you moved into the rocks are like, oh my god, they're just so annoying, right? They're goblins.
Do they hit the wagons themselves? Like
Yeah,
penetrate
but they're really shoddy arrows. So they
bounce.
They like bounce
puncture the
off.
caravan, but then they just kind of hang there out of it.
Oh, okay.
So they don't actually.
Yeah. They don't go through, but
Yeah. They're
So-
well constructed wagons that
Yeah.
Svensson guy doesn't spare.
you know, you just see one come in, you're like,
Okay, so
like right in front of the face.
if anybody looks, Honya's no longer hiding behind the caravan wheel there. She seems to have disappeared off into somewhere. And you can hear screaming, not like but rah, screaming, and the sound of large metal scraping against.
Someone's raging.
Yeah, he is angry.
Stone.
Someone.
So, and that's all a little bit further off.
You can literally do the
where
whole. Like I would like to rage.
So he took off into the rocks and
Okay.
they attacked.
That's
So
my
he's
secret
been moving.
captain. I'm always angry.
Natural terrain. That's the
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So next round, for those of you who moved into the rocks, there's at least one goblin within melee range of you. For those of you who are in the caravans, they're close enough to fire missile weapons at and hit them.
Oh no.
If that's what you care to do, that's where they're at.
Okay.
Okay, that's not too much.
So,
Like this is,
Varys.
yes. I want to cast Eldritch Blast to the nearest goblin near me,
Okay.
and then I'll call for the paladin for help.
Okay.
See,
Help me, friend.
yes, I'll say help me, friend.
Help me, friends.
My friend is in danger.
Gildas, I need your help.
Another settlement needs your help. I was just thinking that.
Here, I'll mark it on your map.
Another settlement.
Another settlement.
Another one.
One other settlement?
No.
That's 15 more
Eldritch
settlements.
Blast. 1d10. Okay.
Well, that's 7.
So I have to roll to hit it.
Oh, one more.
Okay, alright.
Excellent.
You might still hit. What's your bonus?
Oh, I don't have my spell sheet. What is the bonus again? It's like
It's charisma and your proficiency modifier.
Yeah, 8
So,
plus your
5.
charisma plus.
Isn't that if you have
So
the?
it's
so
11.
no. Yeah, it's all
Huh?
there.
It's
Isn't that
11.
if you have the
It's
invocation?
11. Nope. So sorry.
It might be.
Well,
It
no,
might be.
don't have it in case.
He sees you,
No. No, and I think
and he'll be on you.
I
Yeah.
had my other folder. I don't know. Because I have
Okay, and then you yelled out for Gildas
I just
to.
didn't bring
Yeah,
it.
for help and healing.
So
But I
I'll
think
grant
it
that you
is,
can
yeah.
hear that when it comes to your turn. and
Yeah.
You can respond as you like.
Yeah, it
Please
is.
help me.
Alrighty, sir. He's coming. You can hear him.
That's fine.
Footfalls.
You could check it.
I step
They're
out from
behind
behind.
the rock.
I step out from behind that rock and just ready my glaive, and as soon as I'll move towards him. As soon as I'm about 10 feet away, I just kind of bring it up and spin it around my shoulder and just go right at his neck.
Awesome.
Well, that makes
Chop
sense.
away. He's got a little short sword. He can't get to you before you use that.
17.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah. That's a hit.
Okay.
That's 12
You
damage.
do add your charisma
All
to
right.
hit.
One
There's an
goblin down.
indication where you can add your
You
charisma.
just head
No,
straight off
you
his body.
do add your proficiency. Because see, look here. You do add your proficiency and your
Awesome.
charisma.
Yeah.
but there's an
Is there
invitation
any
that you can get
others
that you can
within
add
range
your
of me?
charisma modifier for the damage.
I mean, I don't know how far I'm
Yeah,
going
that's
to
what I was
that one.
thinking about.
Yeah,
That's
you
what it
can
is.
get to another one next round.
I know, I was confused
Okay.
about it myself too.
Yeah.
Like,
Because I will. Alright, yeah, that's fine.
So
Yeah.
there's one close enough. It's not close enough for you to get to it this round.
Right.
But
Yeah,
you
no,
can if you still have movement this round.
That's, I'm not
Yeah,
sure how far I
I
moved to
knew.
get to that one, so.
You didn't have
Yeah,
to. He came
that's
up
how
to
it
you,
is.
there.
right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'll move to him then.
It's you, boulder, goblins
so
running this
Brandon,
way. You can
you add
just
your
hear, so you
proficiency
can
and
literally
your
step out
charisma
from
modifier
behind
to
the boulder and
hit.
Yes.
cleave
But
them.
you can take an invocation later, so
if
when you
wanna
like do
move-
damage,
if
when you do
it's
damage,
right
it
on
does
top
whatever
of the
damage
other
you roll.
ones to
Yeah.
be on
You can
top
get an
of the
invocation
next.
to add your charisma modifier to the
Okay.
damage dealt.
Okay.
That's level 2 to get
Yeah,
invocations.
that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So I'll
Gotcha.
be like right there for next round.
Okay.
You get a
Awesome.
patron then too, don't you? Or
Easy
do you get it when
pickings.
you're on?
Get your patron too.
All right. Anna.
All right. She's just gonna hold her turn. She can't do anything. She's okay. Actually, no. She's gonna poke her head out of the little opening there in the caravan, kind of look around, and then just go back in.
Okay.
Look around.
Okay.
Earning that money.
Gildas. Varys is
I
called
didn't
for
sign
your
up for
help.
this. I just went with him.
He's somewhere over here. He's behind some right. You know the general direction he's at, but it's can take you around.
Will I be able to hit something if I get there?
At this point, there's a goblin you could get to this round who's coming. Not so. So from where Varys called is off to your right, sort of. The goblin you could get to this round is more or less in
I mean,
in
they
front
sent
of you.
us.
You could
they
get
sent
to
us
the
there.
goblin and then make your way to Varys,
us
or you
there.
could try to make your way to Varys.
Man, your
I'm,
posts
like,
don't
close
leave.
to
I'm gonna
death.
go ahead
Yeah.
and try and make my way to
I'm
Varys.
not necessarily
Okay.
close to death per se, but I
So,
don't want to take any more damage than ever.
moving through the
Well,
rocks to get to
I've got
the
4.
sound of his voice,
I'm at 7.
that goblin
I'm afraid.
notices you and
My
he's
life.
coming toward you. So next round you're going to have to deal
I'm
with
gonna
that
attack.
Are you
one,
gonna play it like the
regardless of
thief
whether you
that like
find
just wants it
Varys
for
or not.
gold and then once they
Alright.
get damage, they're just gonna run away?
No, only when my health is this ridiculously low.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna attack, I think.
Okay. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Did you have coffee?
I've had about a Dr. Pepper.
Like
Alrighty.
me, I
You
drink.
got one right
I
there
drink an
coming
energy drink
around
for
at
this
you.
too, so
Alright, I'm gonna kick it right in the jaw.
Okay, he sees you. He's like,
I'm gonna scissor kick him right in the jaw. That's a unnatural 20.
oh, nice. So you turn around, feeling calm, right? Your legs are a little worn out, right? Because you've been doing the drunken walk thing. But he
Play
sees you and he
back
goes like that, and you just plants your foot right in his face. Roll some damage, dude. See what
Alright.
happens.
yeah.
Shit, that's 20
Let's
or
say
on
a
that?
7.
Oh.
7. Nice.
Oh,
He is
jeez.
feeling good.
Zero. Zero hit
First
points.
kill of the night. Woo.
Bam.
Killed the one on my turn.
Oh wait, you
Yeah.
did?
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
he did.
I'm sorry.
Turn down.
I'm sorry.
There's 10 left.
Ooh,
10
nice.
Alright.
I didn't hear. I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna get my ass. We got this.
Okay,
Right, wait.
Deprive me of
so
my kills.
goblins take their turn now. So
So
at this
Rob just
point,
killed one.
you are all amongst the rocks or undercover in the caravan. Alright, so in this round, one of the goblins spots you, Varys,
Oh, jeez.
and is moving your way. He's not going to get to you this round, but he'll be on you at the beginning of the next round.
Okay.
Still continue to hear Ox in the distance doing some serious damage to goblins. So you count 12. You count 12.
There probably were more.
There
Just like
probably
it's in
more.
Dragon Ball D.
Okay.
It's Dragon
Well,
Ball
I
Z.
hope they don't show up.
All right, so Avery, what's your
Okay.
play this round?
Well,
What's your good?
they're all in range for a ranged weapon from the
Yep.
caravan, yeah?
Yep.
So, that's what I'm gonna shoot one.
Okay, sweet.
Whichever one I
Come on,
doesn't
Avery.
You
matter.
can see a couple of them rooting around trying to
You never
decide
have too
whether
many
to just full
You
on
can never
attack
have
the
too many
caravan or
D20s.
take
Everyone's face looks
Yeah.
the stupidest.
You can never.
Yeah, there we go. Or what, you know,
Usually
maybe it's the one that
Just one with a
shot me.
really,
too, so-
really big gnarly
Look,
nose with a
once I
huge
get
wart
paid,
on the end of it.
Let's hope I even
hand
have.
the dice.
What is it?
Rough.
It's a 4.
Plus.
Would be.
Plus not enough.
Plus yeah. So yeah, it's a nice little 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. But
I
hey, he
am
notices
cursed.
you now.
Oh,
He sees you.
Oh.
Look at you.
I can't wait to talk to him
Oh.
That's so cool.
with
All
my
right.
amazing
So
rolls.
for that
Don't worry, I
one,
will kick him in the face.
with regard to that one, you're not in
Hey, look.
cover
Actually,
anymore
it's a
unless you
bigger
make a
racer.
successful hide check. At this point, he's coming right at
So
you.
so
big
so
eraser.
what do you have to
He'll
do
be
with
on
a hide
top of you
check?
next
For
round.
math.
So, as a rogue, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you could use your skills to duck out of the way.
Yeah.
Perhaps from using the caravan or something like that if you wanted to.
I'm apparently acrobatics, so.
Oh.
But
well,
Can he go- can he go
so, the
himself?
thing is, he's going to be
So-
on you next round.
Yeah.
If you do hide, it's going to give you perhaps another round before he finds you, or give you another round to maybe backstab him.
We should
I
duck
know
behind a
who
rock
you
and
are.
roll for
I will
stealth.
find you.
Might as well try that.
Okay.
So stealth
I just said I don't know
is
what you're doing.
dexterity.
I will
Yeah.
find you.
So it's not
That's the
wrong.
thing you're supposed to be good at.
Yeah, no,
All
I
the
put a
references.
lot on it. I have +3. 9.
Plus
Plus
proficiency.
12.
That's a 6.
Oh, plus proficiency?
That's
yeah,
a 6.
No, I know, but I was doing the
Oh,
dex
okay,
plus 3 is
okay.
9.
It's a
That's
9.
11. If you did proficiency. So, still not quite.
Still not quite. Okay. Well, you go for it anyway. You don't really know whether you're hidden. Valiant effort.
He can't see me, I'm just like in the open.
Okay.
You can't see me.
Now, all engaged. Everybody's good to go here. Now you can hear Hanya's voice over the din. Behind us!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Behind us, as in behind us
On the
where
other
I
side?
am?
Behind us!
Oh.
Coming down on you from the cliffs. Apparently there's more than just 12 floating around.
They're coming from both sides.
Yeah.
I think I want to.
Oh,
I wonder if my mouse could just
really a pinch.
jugular
Really?
shot someone. Just
Hey, it's a good thing not everybody left the caravan because they're gonna need to go the other way.
Okay, so,
and I roll.
alright, next round.
I'm so
You've
mad.
got one
That's coming at me.
coming at you. You're going to have to deal with him this round because
Okay.
when a goblin skin comes around, he's going to try and kill you.
I'll shoot that crackling beam of the Eldritch Blast and try to help her.
Okay.
A hit.
What did you sound like? There's a lot of noise.
5. So 17. And I did, and I did 6 damage.
Oh, nice. So he's not dead, but you knocked him down.
Okay.
He is in
He'll
bad shape.
get up next round to get at you.
Okay.
You have bought yourself a round.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
That's a 9.
I rolled 17 or more.
Can I start moving towards the paladin? I'm trying to like hide behind the rocks or like trying
I
to.
haven't watched this.
There's a lot of noise going on. It's really because you don't have a direct line of
Okay.
sight to him.
Alright.
We could try
I'll keep calling
his
for
name
his
again.
Yeah, I'll keep calling for his name
Okay.
again.
Call his name again. Awesome. Alrighty, sir.
Rolled a
So
nat
there's
20.
another one. You're right on top.
Oh yeah, it's one that I've been charging straight at. As soon as I get right up, like, as soon as he's within range, I'm just gonna stab straight through his chest.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a nat 1.
Oh, no!
Wow.
Oh.
See, I actually think I rolled that one before you today.
You did.
Yeah.
This is rough.
If you don't want me to roll your dice.
Huh?
Okay,
You
so
don't
what do
want
we
me to roll
do?
your dice?
What do we do with this one?
Yeah, no, I don't want
That's
you
a
rolling
DM.
my dice.
Do you want me to roll your dice?
Okay,
Everyone,
gotcha.
give me your dice. I'll roll them.
You roll
Okay.
one of my dice, you
some
get to
people
keep it.
decide it's something bad.
We're
Sometimes it's just
That doesn't mean
not as
take
bad.
one.
I got it.
Hannah makes us damage each other every time.
Yeah.
we roll.
Well, okay, not all the
That's
time,
Okay.
but not all the time.
Okay,
It's just
so
the
brutally
easy
shot by
go-to.
Rob.
Roll your damage dice. Yeah, you're
guy.
dead.
So you
Before the
saw
mirror,
you
I
saw
got
one
shot by
standing
you
next to a boulder,
pretty hard.
and you're charging at it
Right
with your
there.
blade,
I didn't have a bow
Right.
and arrow.
and
No, you
it
shot me.
notices, it
Shot me.
hears
Or
you
you
as
just
you're
shoot
yourself
so
in the
close.
foot,
It's
you
not
know.
going to make a difference. He's going to turn into the blade, and your foot strikes a rock
Foot with a bow.
on the ground,
Stub
and
your
you go
toe.
down in front of the goblin.
Oh
That's what he was
I'm now concussed among the goblins.
You're not. You're prone, but you're not unconscious.
You'll become
Okay.
one of them.
no! One of them.
And
One of them.
Oh yeah.
That's okay.
Hey, look, it's a 20.
All right.
How far did I move to
I
get
keep
there?
rolling that 20.
Well,
Stop it.
the
Now I
movement
went to
you
14,
did last
but
round
we'll
put you
never
right
do
on
that
top
one
of them,
again.
so
There
you
was
didn't
one
have
time I
to.
rolled 3
You were like
20s in
2
a row.
steps
Like, I
into
had
this
3
guy.
dice in my hand. Like,
In that case, I'm gonna use half my movement this turn to get
That's
back
one.
up.
Okay.
That's a 4.
Okay. So you get up
So-
on your feet. All right.
I
Well,
won't
good.
be able to
Then
attack,
you'll
but at least I'm
But
not
yeah, you get the point. You
prone.
get
You'll
the
be
At
on
his
your
mercy.
feet when he strikes.
I was
Okay.
like-
Okay.
And I
Awesome.
was like, guys, I need.
Okay, Hannah, what you doing?
So I'm going. Okay, Sybil is going to again poke out her head. And are there any in sort of a melee range?
They're coming up to the caravan this way, but what's really distressing when you poke your head out is you can hear them much more closely right there behind you. In fact, it sounds like you hear it's a creak of wood, the arrows, bows being knocked from up above you.
Okay.
Your druid
How-
create an avalanche.
I'm not that powerful yet.
Just plant a giant tree through one of them. It's like,
I wish.
Just make
I
them
wish.
flowers. Maybe they just maybe they're lonely.
Wait.
Just lonely.
Wait, no, that isn't there a certain type of flower that can like make you sleepy or something like that?
No,
I
no.
think that's called weed.
Can I just bring a bunch of weeds
Marijuana.
and then set it on fire?
Just grow a hemp field and set it on fire and hope they go to sleep, or get the munchies and go away.
So you could strike at one
How-
that's just off the trail.
How far away? Is there any that are like maybe?
Not melee range this round.
No, not melee range, but like. Okay, I'm gonna ask for a specific. Is there one that's 15 feet away from me?
No, there's
Okay.
one that's 20 feet away from me.
Okay, so I think I'm just going to. Well,
You could move the 5 feet.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna move it 5 feet. So, where is it?
So you can break cover.
When you, and it's a okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna break cover. Just kind of climb out. Go an extra 5 feet so that it's within range, and I'm going to cast Thunder Wave.
Okay.
What that does, it's each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
So you need to make that save. Roll the 20, and you need to beat
Slipping over stones down.
a
Wait, there's like,
10. You need to beat a 14.
Okay. Ooh, nope.
Okay, so he fails. So he's gonna take 2d8 thunder damage and be moved back 10 feet.
It's probably gonna die. Yeah.
12 damage.
Nice. Yeah, he's gone.
I
Literally.
like it.
Very
His
nicely
limp
done.
corpse just flies backwards.
the turtle druid saves the day.
I'm not a turtle.
It's like if a giant just picked up a level 1 in Skyrim and just,
Yeah.
as was probably all that happened.
So, Gildas, you round the corner around a rock. You can see Varys there. He's got a goblin like right up in his face. You've got one on you right now. So you either deal with this guy or you can get to Varys and the goblin that's on him.
I'm gonna go ahead and deal with the goblin on Varys.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and try and swing at it. Do I have advantage since I'm near him?
His
if I-
back's to you. Does that matter?
If they're both within melee range, then yeah, you'd have
You have
advantage.
allies. Yep.
Okay.
That
That one's a 16. This one's
Another
16.
16.
So 16 plus my strength. That is a 19.
Yeah, that hits.
All right,
There
rolling
you
a
go.
hit. It's gonna be 1d8.
What is this? What is
What do you mean? What is this?
No.
This is Dungeons and
No, no,
Dragons.
no. What is this?
Oh.
What
5
are
points of
these?
damage.
What are you talking about? This is
Okay,
Dungeons and Dragons.
He's
What am
not
I?
concerned with Varys anymore. He turns his attention to you. So now you have 2 of them that want to deal with you.
I say hello, dear friend.
Hello, dear friend.
For Gaia and friendship.
Awesome. Okay,
Wow.
Mercer.
All right.
There's another one in melee range. You're in the thick of them here. All you got to do is move around one or the other of the rocks. There's plenty of them.
I'm just gonna kick him in the face again.
Okay.
That's a 7.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's a. I roll a 4.
Oh.
Plus
Oh.
3.
But, so you missed. You totally missed, right? So you're going to plant your foot in his face, and you missed. But you found that all of a sudden, like the way your foot came down, you would think you'd normally tripped, but all this goofy drunk walking you've been doing, you're on balance. You're not set off by that.
There you go.
Awesome.
Something's germinating there. That's cool.
Walking like a drunk.
Okay.
Come on, Mom, there's a benefit to getting drunk all the time.
So, alright, it's the goblin's turn.
It's the only damaging spell I have is Thunder Rain. Everything else is just
So
like...
you tried
is
to
it a cantrip?
hide.
No,
Yeah.
it's a spell slot.
That
That
so you
didn't
only have
really
one more
work.
left?
So
I have one
the
more left,
one
but I want to
that's
save it for
been
cure
rooting
wounds.
around for you
Yeah.
has
For
found you, and he's going
people.
to try and stick you with his short
He's
sword.
gonna try to stick
And the
me
only
with a
cantrips I
sword.
have are
This
just
could
produce
be
flame.
difficult.
Yeah, because I don't
On
know. How does it start with level 1 spells?
No, no.
Does a
You
19
get
hit?
spells, I think, at level 3.
Just a bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just a bit. Just a bit. Short swords, is that D4 or D6?
D4?
I think it'd be a
A
four.
what?
What happened?
Sword?
Should be a
Yeah.
D6.
A short sword? A
It's a
D6.
D6.
It's a D6
Dagger-
You
slash.
got hit by it.
Oh, right, okay. Yep.
Yeah, Avery's hurt.
I got 4.
Do you want a D6? Here, have some D6s, Avery.
That's 5 points of damage.
Oof, I'm out.
Okay.
Oh no! Avery's unconscious.
Yep.
Or not
yet.
Avery,
Valentin.
Valendrin. I can never pronounce
It's
his
okay,
name.
I'm
I'm
almost
sorry.
there too. And there's more goblins coming.
I'm
I'm at 5 HP.
Okay,
If I
so
get them
there's that
all, like,
one.
in one
There's
shot, I can
one
just pull them back
on Chris.
If I have to. I really
He's
have
going
to.
to try and hit
It's
you.
gonna happen. It's gonna
Oh
kill me.
man,
I'm gonna kill the first
does a
man.
19 hit you?
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, so 3
That was
points of
almost a
damage.
1.
That's not too bad.
Well, hey, the one's right next to the 19.
I know, you're
Yeah, I
getting
know.
it. It's like a
And
point of your
then the one that's on your tail is going to try and hit you.
I'm just not rolling well with you.
7 probably doesn't do it.
No.
No. And are you wearing armor?
Yep.
Okay.
4.
So you hear it whoosh behind you.
So you have to roll a 10 or above without any
Oh my
So
luck.
you
God.
got one behind
You
you
get
and
a
one in
10.
front of you. You're a goblin
You
sandwich.
fill in a bubble here. A 10 or
Oh,
above, you
Lord.
fill in
What's
success.
armor
You get 3
Potentially a
successes,
huge
you're
problem.
stabilized.
Okay, and then
You roll a
you
one.
struck
I'm not
it
worried.
from
You're dead.
No, you aren't.
Mercer and you missed.
You roll a
right?
20.
Yeah, I missed.
Okay.
You come
so
back
he's
with one
gonna
hit
try and
point.
hit you.
Alright.
That's alright. That's alright.
13?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Awesome.
16.
And if you fail 3 death saves, you die.
All right.
Same sort of situation.
Okay, so I think that's.
What happens if I succeed like 2 on one?
There's one
Huh?
I used.
It's whichever one.
Yeah.
Whichever one gets to 3.
All
I
right.
knocked it back though, didn't
You
you?
need-
You did. You did. He's
So like,
barely hanging on.
Okay.
whichever one
Okay.
you
He's
reach
gonna
to
take
your
a swing.
first. So you
Okay.
can have like 2 death saves and like 2 success.
Let's see now. I mean,
But-
9?
No. No.
All right. So he swings. You do this little like limber elf thing, move your head out of the way. He
I need
catches
to start
air.
making, like, sound effects and stuff in my games.
Gildess is
Like, I
right
don't
there.
like-
You're like, please just hit this one first.
I must
He's
try
on the
this
edge.
one.
He's almost gone.
This goblin's
Um,
finna
Okay.
18
Yeah, try that one.
Yeah, 15.
Okay, stop
Finish
rolling it. You're gonna
Next
have all the good rolls.
round.
You're gonna all waste them by doing Okay.
Did the
The
goblins
rogue
just
is
go?
just like on
Yes.
the rock.
So Avery's still here, right?
Avery's unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So he's
I
gonna
got
make
rolled.
that save.
Yeah. Is that right
Wait,
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Yeah.
Come on,
You
Avery.
got this.
Avery.
Oh.
Just one
Fail. That's
Yeah.
one fail.
now? Okay.
2 more and you're. See, what did I tell you about rolling them when you don't have to roll them?
It's okay. We'll make it through.
See?
Okay.
Rogues are just dying.
This is it's the rogues.
I guess rogues are just dying this week.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
necessarily. Okay. Okay. So next round.
Yeah.
Got this one sitting in front of you. He's not in really good shape.
Okay.
There's others around you, but it doesn't. Even if they're right on top of you around you, this is the only one that you really
Okay.
are perceiving at the moment.
That's a D6. So I'm gonna take out my quarterstaff, and I'm gonna try to bop him.
Okay.
Just boop. That's no.
Yeah, no, that's a no. It doesn't hit him.
Okay.
I was really hoping
So
to
you still
use
have
lay
that
of
one in
hands
front
on
of you.
finishing.
All right.
I
So
would-
no
Goblin,
different.
you're on your feet this time.
Yeah, as I'm getting up,
If I got him to
just trying
zero
to
Just be
HP, I
big
would
back
have
Russian
and
gained.
just like
dirt on
hug
him.
I would have
him.
gained
Just like,
actually health.
I hope
Oh.
Because the
I
Dark
didn't
One's
see that.
blessing.
Just
Yep.
Yeah,
come down and
that would have been nice.
slash. Just try to. I'm just gonna try to skewer him again, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Just straight at him.
Okay.
Nope. Dang it.
that's not another one, is it?
No, it's a 5.
Oh.
Okay.
Still, that's still not good.
Okay.
Level
And then
1.
for my bonus action, I'm gonna use my second wind ability to heal
Okay.
7 hit points.
Okay.
Not bad.
Put me
Okay.
back up to my max.
Chris,
Nice.
There you go.
I didn't roll that one. That blue one.
That one?
Yeah, I didn't roll that one.
I'm proficient in medicine.
I would have put with that.
I
I'm
didn't
proficient
roll
in
it.
medicine.
I'm trying to say
Okay. So,
Okay.
Hannah.
Have any of them moved into range?
Yeah, you can.
Melee.
they're-
Melee range?
They're on top of the caravan.
Okay.
Both from the original flanking side
Okay.
and now the ones from behind are starting to filter in
Okay.
from behind.
Proficient.
Oh no.
So
Athletics, history.
she's gonna move up so that one of them's in front of her, and she's gonna attack with her scimitar.
Okay. Oh no!
Oh.
That's a 1.
I didn't roll it.
That's a 1.
Oh.
Avery!
I didn't roll it.
Shoot.
That is a
I
1.
did not roll
Oh,
that.
that's not good. Okay.
So
So,
Okay.
I assure you, I've only rolled Chris.
so you've moved out to attack one. You
Except for that
completely caught air. You pulled a muscle in your
And that
leg
one.
swinging,
Oh,
so
no.
your AC is going to be minus
Oh, and that one.
2 when it's its turn to try and
I
hit
didn't
you.
roll that.
Cramping.
I didn't roll that one.
Cramping.
Yeah.
I did stretch before this. It's not.
I always remember.
Marty,
this.
go down.
I didn't roll
You've
that
got
one.
one right in front of you, who's hanging on by a thread. Varys tried to swing at it with his quarterstaff. It's totally missed. You know there's one right behind you. You can hear it growling, and you know it's going to strike at you.
That's what I get for having them all on the 20 side.
I'm gonna hit the one in front of Eris.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
It's a one hit. That big nose,
7.
nose, jabbing thing.
That one's
That's
a
a
nat 20.
20.
20.
That cable saved you.
That cable
Yeah, that
did save you.
cable did.
So rolling my 1d8 and then I double it and then add my strength.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Double the dice roll.
That's
That'll be 14 plus
Yeah,
3. That's
that-
17.
That's
You're using a
gone.
warhammer?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh, Diane!
It turns the
he doesn't get a clue that you're there. He's looking at you and he's like, I'm going to get you this time. And then all of a sudden, all you see is just like, whew, like a wipe, right? You just kind of wiped him down. The hammer comes down on top of his head and it just, see his whole head kind of explode out to the
So it
side.
seems I'm
He just
really,
falls down
really
with a
bad
big
when I'm a
pile.
DM
No,
and
it's
when I'm a
fake.
player. I roll
But you
terribly
can
behind the
see
screen.
now
I
that
roll
you're not in
terribly.
complete panic over the one in front
feel
of you.
like-
Except
You
for
can
when
see
you guys
there's
are fighting
another
the
one
dragon.
behind Gildas.
Okay.
Except the dragon.
Okay.
I feel like if I was a DM, I'd be
Alrighty,
having
sir.
an easy time.
Alright. I'm gonna try and
Well, you
punch
can
one
also
up here
fake
this
it
time.
behind the
Okay.
screen too, but I don't do that.
No, I don't think I can do that.
It's a 1.
Oh, another one!
I'm cursing everyone. Oh
Avery, stop it!
Get out of here, Ethan.
TPK first combat.
Oh, man.
Everyone
Okay.
throw your d20 at Avery.
Yeah.
Especially the steel one.
Please no.
Oh man.
So you miss. You
I know,
plant your
it's
fist
great. I wonder-
square
Oh,
into one of the
it's great.
boulders.
You did it?
Oh, punch
Rob,
one
you
of
didn't roll on
the
your tray.
You
Oh.
know, as a really highly trained monk, you could probably have cracked that boulder, but you're not there yet. So what happens is essentially you mess up your hand pretty good. So it's going to be -2 to hit
Ruined.
for the next
Roll it.
5 rounds
Alright. Wait.
Roll that.
No, never mind.
with your
Roll
fist.
that.
Yeah, I was gonna
Rob,
ask
you
if I-
didn't roll on the tray.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I could use a bonus action to try and you heal up my hand. I'm proficient in
If it's
medicine.
legit, yeah, that's totally cool.
He's proficient in
I'm
medicine.
proficient in
Yes.
medicine. 10 plus a 3 plus that's 15.
15, and so I'm just looking at the difficulty thing. Right?
I mean, it's up to you how difficult you want to make it.
Yeah.
Like what's around him? Is there
No,
any?
that's
yeah,
fine.
like-
Okay, cool. Yeah, no,
What?
that works. That works.
Okay,
There's a
hang
little,
on.
pressure point in your hand. You remember learning about that, and you just, bam, and you just reflexively get your finger on it, and
Yeah.
so you're not at a disadvantage to hit him
Alright.
before. But you still missed him, and he's on you, so he'll be attacking you in just a moment. Like now.
Like now.
Okay.
Like right now.
So, before that happens, nobody's around you, but I'll just let you know, Dungan, the Durgan monk that's been traveling with you all, he does the Save the Dying.
Oh, spare the dying.
Spare the Dying.
There you go.
So now you don't have to make any more death saves.
You're
He just-
stable.
he just-
I wonder. You're still
Kind of
unconscious.
jumps into where you're
You would've
at,
made it.
lays his hand down on you, closes his eyes, mumbles some stuff, and then bounces off to
You're
go.
stabilized. You're still
Okay.
unconscious, but you no longer need to make death saves. Yep.
Okay, so there's a goblin on you, there's a goblin on you, there's
Thank
a
you.
goblin
Mark,
on you.
dwarf, dude.
Yep.
You killed yours.
No, I missed.
you missed.
What
That's
if I
right.
made? I'm gonna
Okay,
be
so
nice with Mark.
four, you're
I mean,
good.
I max out
That
on
one
my
that knocked you out has just
constitution.
moved on, so
His
it's...
name's Chris
Okay.
Hansen.
Yep.
That's all my enemies.
Alright, so let's start at the top of the list. We'll go for the one that's on you, Chris. Oh!
There's a 1.
So he swings
I
his
wanna
short
move
sword
Mark,
at
right?
you.
And max
It's
out my
laughable.
persuasion.
It's like
And his name's
you have
Chris Hansen.
nephews
And
at home
he's gonna
when you play with
always
your
ask enemies
nephews.
to
It's
have a
funny
seat.
because you can just kind of bat them
I was
around.
gonna ask what.
And he does this length
Everybody
swing.
take a
And
seat.
what
No, he's gonna
happens
ask the
is
enemies to take a
his
seat.
short sword
Alright,
gets
okay.
caught
Take a seat.
For
in
fun.
a crack in the
They
boulder
are.
that's next to
Okay.
where you're at.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's essentially going to be -5 to his AC when it
Good.
comes your
Maybe I'll
turn
actually kill
next round.
something.
Because he's trying to pull out a rock.
I saw that.
Okay. And then there's one on
What are you
Robert?
doing?
There's one on Mercer. Is that right?
Roll that one.
12?
Okay.
Nope.
Awesome.
I AC of 16.
So a little
I
back
read
and
that
forth here. Gildas from behind. 12?
I have 18.
Oh,
Mr. Clean.
nice.
New character.
And then Hannah.
Yep.
Right behind you.
Oh,
Claire.
totally not. 4, I'm assuming. that's
Nope.
not.
Scrubs everyone down.
Awesome. Okay.
I get
Sweet.
19.
So, here's the situation at this point. Of the original 12 that you saw, there would be 8 left, given the death toll that you've exacted on them up to this point in time.
I love
There are
Hey.
some number coming off of the cliff behind the caravan
See,
and
this is
starting
why
to
I was
swarm
like,
into the
"Bob,
rocks
it's
and in amongst the caravan. There's lots more goblins, just put it that way.
Yep.
You know, I suppose we'll just grant that you all are experienced, I mean, first level, but still experienced enough to understand the sound of goblins, right? The cries that they
You
make.
guys hear goblins?
There's another sound that starts
Yeah,
to
what
come
goblins?
from up amongst the rocks,
I'm
starting
sure
behind
this
you,
sound like
and then
wolves.
those of you who are out in the boulders hear it on your flanks as well.
We are
Hobgoblins.
surrounded.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
See,
no.
I'm so glad I'm on the ground.
We're
Breathing.
We're dead.
TPK,
You're-
first
You're
session,
being,
TPK.
you're being
all good.
overwhelmed by forces. So,
It's not my fault that people are getting back.
if I may take a little liberty as God to sort of fast forward through some action to jump into some plot here.
Sure,
Sure.
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 Awesome.
God smites them.
So essentially what
Sweat,
happens,
wicked.
valiant fighting aside, essentially what happens, you get swarmed. And eventually everybody's knocked unconscious.
Oh, Rick.
Oh no.
Can I be unconscious with a smile?
Be unconscious with a smile.
With a smile.
That's all
I'm
totally
unconscious
good.
with a very angry face.
Oh, hello, I am down, dear friends.
With the sudden love of monks.
So,
I suddenly love monks. I
but
hate goblins.
it isn't as if you're completely out of it. You come to, so you know, fighting, the blur of battle, striking enemies, bam, everybody at some point in time, right in the back of the head, out cold. But you all come to in a strange place. It's not the same place. It's a different place. It's craggy, mountainous territory. The sky's different. This is not the same weather that was going on. It's red. There's
Ew.
clouds, but it's
Uh-oh.
red. It's like
I support this.
It's not like sunset red. It's like there's big fires burning red.
I
You can
really
smell some
support this.
smoke.
Are we in hell?
I hope so.
We've been
Oh,
flying
yeah,
around
so-
the plane.
The other thing
Friends
to
in hell?
note is that
No.
when you move, it feels like you're moving underwater. Everything feels a little bit weird.
I certainly don't like
So are we all in the
Heavy.
same room with one another?
Well, so I'm a
Okay.
pan
Yeah,
out. I'm
yeah,
a
yeah,
pan out.
yeah,
So you're all together. You can see one another, right? And it's just a sort of shocked kind of feeling. What you take in around you as soon as you realize you're in these surroundings is the sounds of battle, right? And so that's an easy transition. We were just there, but this isn't here. This is some other battle going on. And there's a voice yelling off to your left there. Rally, men! Rally! We have them! We have them! And you turn to look. You will recognize Morden, the god of battle, to your left, and troops clashing against, pick a bugaboo, orcs, hobgoblins, bugbears, giants.
Trolls.
It's a battle line,
Trolling,
and
right.
essentially you're there right
trolling,
behind the line of battle in a strange place amongst craggy peaks. There are enemies nearby if you want to take a swing at them. You're feeling kind of good, actually. I mean, it's like, I know you got knocked out, you know you were hurt. It feels kind of weird to move. It isn't like it makes you move more slowly, but it's almost like you got like weights on or something like that. But you actually feel kind of revitalized a little bit. You're feeling like you could pull off some stuff.
Does that mean I'm...
Can
Does that
I?
mean what?
Can I try to
I
like
hope
see
so.
if I know
Still
where we
zero.
are? Like at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you would roll, let's see,
Probably
History?
Arcana
No,
or religion.
Ooh.
how about religion?
Okay.
Since it's a giant god, like...
As a 17 plus 1 plus 2, that's a unnatural 20.
All right.
Just gonna start screaming, where the hell are we?
So you do remember from your studies, this is ACs. This looks like ACs.
Schrodinger's party.
This is the rift
We are everywhere.
in the ethereal plane
Wait.
where the forces of good battle the forces of evil. This is an eternal battle. You have just spawned yourselves behind the lines of the eternal battle between good and evil. Morden's leading his troops against the forces of evil here amongst these craggy peaks.
I'm still screaming, where the hell are we? Because I didn't get any of that. I didn't roll the check.
And I'm gonna hear her. I'm gonna say we're in a what's it called again?
ACs?
We're in-
ACIES?
We're in ACs, the
ACs.
realm of eternal battle.
You would know it.
Okay.
As
Yeah,
a- as
yeah,
a druid,
I'd
you
assume,
would
yeah.
totally know.
And my jaw just kind of drops. I'm like, how the hell?
So while you're taking that in,
I'm just wondering why I'm
a
so
volley of arrows come in on the troops you're standing behind.
I guess.
They get glanced off of shields. Some of them fly right into you.
Oh,
It
that's
doesn't
fun.
do anything though. It's like you're here, but you're not here. It's really weird.
Ghost.
Schrodinger's party.
So like you're standing there, you see this. So Chris, your character's standing there. You see this arrow come in, and you go to move, and it should be right through your shoulder. You turn around, it's on the rocks back there. You can hear everything. You can see the people around you if you care to try to interact with them, but apparently,
I'm assuming they're standing around me.
yeah, you all are all
I'm
together.
gonna try to touch whoever's closest to
Don't
me.
touch me.
So you can touch each other.
Okay, can I go touch somebody else? Like, can I actually like interact with the other people?
So interact.
It's a
You mean
flashback.
touch or
Like,
talk
speak.
to?
I mean, touch.
We
is
are
what
all
I'll
here,
say.
friend.
Touch. So there's one of the soldiers, one of Morden's soldiers standing there in front of you. You could pass your arm straight to
Yeah,
him.
that's what I'm gonna. Oh, really?
Oh wow, look at that. So that's interesting.
So
Like,
You could try talking to him.
yeah, can you hear me?
What?
Okay, you can hear me.
Mind me not. I'm busy.
middle of
Can I go up and talk
fighting
to one of
with
these
a few
people? Just the same one.
I mean,
I'm gonna
if
talk
we're
to this
here
person and
in
I was
this
like,
sort of eternal
Where the
battle,
hell am I?
yeah,
does that
I'm
mean we
like,
have to
you
battle?
can't be busy enough to.
Okay.
He gets all
I
flustered.
don't
So
know
this
if
guy's
they're friends or
this guy's got
enemies,
his shield
but
out.
something's
He's got his
going
spear
on
out,
and I
and he's
don't know what's
trying
going on.
to skewer things coming over
It's-
the rocks.
Yeah.
Can I? Sorry. Can I try?
Quite frankly, it's
Actually, like casting
bit
a
weird
spell,
at this point.
like casting Eldritch Blast past the shield, like
You
with that.
can try.
Try. Okay. To hit like something over whatever they're trying to fight.
There's plenty of
Wraps around
waves of
and hits
them
the
coming.
rogue in the
Okay,
back.
so that's a unnatural 20. Yeah.
It looks really pretty.
Looks nice.
That's nice. Okay.
So
You
Can I?
right? And
Yeah.
so there's a let's just say it's a hobgoblin coming up
I
out
still
of
have
it,
a
right? And you
question.
blast it, and it's
Okay.
engaged with this dude, and it doesn't
Yeah.
seem to notice
Okay.
that at all.
Alright.
I
So, yeah, go ahead.
kind of want to know why you put your hand through this busy man. Like, he's so busy, why can't you just.
Just
Okay, so Morden marches over. It's a tall human, looks like Kressani Gee, if you would, because you know him from Chris's character.
Yeah.
Black hair, blue eyes, really big, stocky, covered in scars. He's like, "What are you doing on my battlefield? You don't belong here." But
We know.
there's a little, it's just a hint of a smile. It's like you can't not, he's having fun. He's having a really good time. He's got a fucking army. He's got no end to enemies. He's the god of battle. This
he's
is
like, no,
this is his
no.
party. But why
No,
are
no, no.
you here? What have you done to get here?
I'd like to go home.
Died or
I'd like
almost
to
died.
go.
Last thing I know, we were fighting goblins.
Fighting goblins.
I got ooped.
And you're here. This can't be. Have you news from the material plane? What's going on there?
Nothing good.
Nothing good.
A lot of boofing.
More.
The north is being
Attacks
slowly
from the north
overrun.
and the south. Attacks from the north and the south.
I'm having a problem about not getting paid.
That makes sense.
That's my problem.
She kind of
From
goes
the
over
north
you and is just
too.
like,
Ah, that explains much.
well,
I must get you
I
out
just
of
did.
here. You need to
I got
go.
a monk.
You
Yeah.
need to go now.
Yeah.
You want the
And
monk to go touch you? I can get him to come over here and touch you.
He waves his axe, right? Does a big twirly thing with his axe, like he twirls with his axe right there.
Oh,
and
that's kind of fancy.
everything's disappeared.
What?
You find yourselves in a cave.
Seems legit.
You're all bound.
Not legit.
Now you feel all of the aches and pains from the times you got hit in the battle.
Oh, it smells like goblin in here.
Smells like paladin.
Can
This
I?
sounds like what happened
Okay.
was the goblins knocked you out and stuffed you in this cave. You don't have any of your shit with you. You got your clothes on.
Can I try and as
Take our armor.
as implausible as this may be, I'm gonna try to break out of the restraints. Just straight up, just try and break out.
Okay.
Is it rope or is it like shackles?
It's a hodgepodge of really thick rope and some chain. I mean, they're goblins.
As I say, and
It
my
can't
strength's
be a
not that
really
good,
neat
but just a
job.
reaction, you know. You're just,
It's gonna be hard.
yeah, I'm assuming it is. That is a 5.
Yep.
Not happening.
How much?
No.
How much am I able to like?
Okay.
How much am I able to
I'll
like,
try as
move
well.
around?
That's a. I mean, if we're just a strength check or.
Yeah, use your strength.
Okay. So that's just gonna be a 21.
You get it to creak.
I feel like a 24 because athletics.
You
So.
get it to creak. It's like, oh, I could
Jesus.
work on this for a while. I might be able
So
to
it's
do it.
extremely.
How much am I able to like move around? Like, are they
Not
really
really.
tightly bound?
Can I
together?
just? Can
Yeah,
I just?
so, I mean, y'all are like
I am chaos.
Okay. So
wrapped up like
down.
this, and your
Wait.
legs too. So between your ankles and your
Okay.
knees, and between your wrists.
Well,
and
I already
your
did
toes.
something, so I'm gonna wait for everyone else to do
Any
something.
wild sugar?
Can I try
I,
to like?
no, second level, but I can produce flame.
Yeah.
I cast produce flame in my hand.
Do you need material components for that?
I don't think so. Hold on, I'm gonna
Can
check
I
real
just-
quick.
Can I just laugh
Look at
and
this
say
thing
I
with your
am
hands, too.
chaos
Good.
neutral?
I
I'm just
can-
gonna laugh.
If not,
really
Well,
loud.
it depends. I could.
Yeah,
I'm just
there's
gonna see what it
That's
does.
part- I'm just gonna laugh really loud.
Yeah, yeah.
Specifically at the
Can I
end
try
of
to
the
heal
time.
myself in any way? Like mend some of those?
Yeah, okay, so here's the deal for spell stuff, healing, or whatever you want to do with that one. Material components are out. If you need material components, it's a no-go.
Okay.
So
If you need
can't
somatic
you-
components, if it's simple, then you can pull it off, but it's elaborate.
What does the S stand for?
Somatic.
Somatic. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Hand
Like
movements.
hand motion.
Okay.
Like
How? Okay, it's just verbal and somatic. So can I like just move my hand like just barely, like almost like slightly?
You're like this from your wrists up to your elbows, like this, so
Okay.
you got
But can I move my
a
fingers?
little wiggle. You can wiggle
Okay.
your fingers.
I
yeah.
try to wiggle my fingers and cast produce flame in my hands, and I say the words that I need to ignite it.
Okay, so you have to roll for that one, or is that just
No, it's just an
success if
automatic.
you get
It's-
that?
Remains there and harms neither you nor your equipment. Bright light. Spell ends if you dismiss it as an action or if you cast it again. So, I'm just basically trying to get it to burn the rope.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do produce some flame,
Mm-hmm.
and right as you're like, yes, Hobgoblin comes around the corner. Smashes your hands, puts the flame out.
I'm gonna laugh even louder.
Even louder.
I'm gonna like instantly like my eyes go wide and I just kind of like sulk as much into my body as I can, like just like.
I'm laughing
Can I-
at direction too.
Can I try and drop kick the hobgoblin?
Well,
I kind of
tied up on the ground,
What are you gonna
Yeah.
do? Just
getting any kind of leverage is really
Okay.
kind of hard.
Okay.
I would like to reason with this creature.
I would like to laugh.
Hello, dear friend.
That's exactly what he does. He goes, ha 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 ha.
Okay.
still laughing at it.
I laugh with him.
Sybil looks over at you like, what?
What you thinking?
So our hands are tied, our legs are bound.
Yeah.
But are we hog-tied? Like our hands tied to our legs?
No, in fact, that would have been an intelligent thing to do. But
Yeah.
since we're not dealing with intelligent
Right.
creatures, I'd say probably
Right.
not. Yeah.
So
Can
I
spit
could
out
probably, with my legs together, probably try to kick out and like kick this thing, and knock
You
it down.
could.
What are you thinking?
I was thinking about just distracting it by spitting it.
I was going to say, because you're bound, that's got to be a minus on your to hit. So
Or a disadvantage.
A disadvantage?
Or
Okay.
Spit in
Okay.
its
That's
eye.
Disadvantage, or you make the
Are we
roll
bound to the
harder,
wall?
all the more
No.
harder.
No, we're just.
No, you just got wrapped up and chucked in the back of a cave.
I'm gonna try and headbutt the
Just,
hobgoblin.
Hold on a second.
Wait, so we're just
Yeah, go
like,
ahead.
are we just like in
Is it
a
just gonna be
pile
an
of just
attack roll
or
disadvantage,
tied up
or-
people?
Yeah,
So that means
let's
the
go.
pile is probably on
Um,
top of me, and I don't like that. Probably try to
Oh.
hug me.
Should be an 18.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Sorry, 17.
17? Okay. I'm going to need it to.
This works on my
Okay, so let's say you did manage to kind of clip it in the legs there, so
Yeah.
I'm going to roll like a d4.
Sure. I was just trying to see if I could like knock it down, so we could basically like try to trap it here.
Okay,
Like
I got
steal
you.
a blade off it or something.
I gotcha.
In my
So
pocket.
he's standing with his legs spread a little bit. You managed to knock him in the leg. You probably
Right.
bruised him, not that he really actually notices it.
Yeah.
So just then, as you manage to, and you're starting to feel, it's kind of despairing, right? All of a sudden, gets this dumb look on his face, and just falls flat right on top of you.
That's when I scream, "Yay! Look at he's dead."
I would have looked around the room before this
I
point.
wouldn't be too sure.
Like,
about
when
that.
we were all
There's
noticing
something
that
else
this is
going
where we
on
are.
here.
Can't
Who
be
else
much
from the
worse than
caravan is
being
in
stuck
here?
in a cave with that.
Okay, so after the hobgoblin falls on top of Chris, you notice behind
Oh,
it,
this isn't mine. Hold on.
having apparently just sort of materialized here, is a Durgan female.
Oh.
She's carrying, she's got a hand axe in one hand, she's got a warhammer in the other hand. She's clearly a very experienced adventurer. She managed to sneak into the cave where you all are at while you were knocked out and take care of this hobgoblin. She's like, and she starts working her way around and cutting your
Here's
bonds.
not. I'm like,
So she releases you. You don't have any of your stuff. You look around the cave. There's really nothing
Hey.
here.
As I push this stupid hobgoblin off me, I'm gonna check to see if he has any kind of a weapon on him. Even if it's just a
He
dagger
had
or
a
something.
club.
Good enough.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna kick it while it's down, just because I'm mad at it. I'm gonna literally call. I'm gonna call a name and kick it and be like, "Yeah, we showed you."
Say it in another
So-
language or something. Just be like
I'll say it in.
Elvish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she says in hushed tones, "They're out raiding. Follow me quietly." And she turns, and it looks like just a corner of the cave, but it actually turns out there's a little bit of a tunnel. Kind of, it's a little crude tunnel that sort of takes a jog down about 60 feet into a lower cave space. And there's some stuff there. Some of it is some of your stuff. Some of your stuff is broken stuff.
Mad now.
What stuff is
Particularly
broken?
awesome. So you see some things, you're going to be able to recover some things, but there's some other things too.
Ooh.
Okay.
So
It's gonna be a potato launcher.
you describe some of the other things. that
Find a
float around
flamethrower.
here.
Elon Musk.
All right.
Dragon Slayer Warhammer.
Not a flamethrower.
No, you find Elon Musk.
That's how they had to ship them.
Okay.
Because we can't ship flamethrowers.
So
Not a flamethrower.
are you all right? So there's a couple of things. Your glaive survived. What armor were you wearing?
Chainmail.
Chainmail. Yeah, there's chainmail. Just your chainmail's here. That's
Yeah.
fine. There's a large shield leaning against the wall. Looks really fancy. So there's a large shield leaning against the wall. There's 2 quivers of arrows.
2 quivers of arrows.
Ooh.
There's a bow.
I might permanently borrow
Ooh.
one.
There's a pair of boots. There's a mace sitting next to the shield.
Okay, quick question. The boots. Can I do an Arcana check and see if they have any magical properties?
Would you need detect magic for that, or could you do an Arcana check to check that?
It depends on the
Yeah.
item.
Yeah, it's up to you.
I would say you probably need detect magic. To figure
Okay.
this out.
It's a D20.
Alright.
I'm gonna curse it.
No.
Yeah, Arcana is usually more of like
No.
knowledge of how to magical item.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Is it the book?
Okay, so altogether, there's a bow, there's 2 quivers of arrows, there's a shield, there's some boots, there's a mace, there's a cloak. Ooh. There's a really nice. You recognize this? Actually, this is traditional Kressani gi armor. So it's like a plate mail
Ooh.
upper with a studded leather
Oh,
You're
that
not
shit's
proficient.
mine.
around the
You're not
brace,
proficient,
around
you
the,
can't.
the
Not
kilt
with
part
that
down there.
dude.
Oh yeah, that shit's mine.
Can I have your chainmail then?
Sure.
I need
There's
armor.
actually 2 cloaks. Yep.
Okay,
And,
can
I'm
I
taking
take 1 cloak?
I'll
And
take
then
the
there's
other.
a bag of. Well, it looks
Fuck
like
me.
I will.
there's a bag of stuff, and then there's some other
You
random
can take the
shit,
bag
like
of
Okay.
stuff.
old
I'll take
clothes
that.
and
Okay,
bones and
I
crap
take a
like that.
cloak.
I'll take the other one.
I'll take the
Okay.
bag.
Okay.
So
I get the plate now.
don't worry about that.
Take
Okay.
the shield.
So
Has
Nobody's
anyone
taking
taken
the
the bow
shield?
and the
I'm gonna
quiver?
take
I'll take the
Well,
bow and the
that's-
quiver. You got
Yeah,
the.
I mean,
you got the-
I didn't take it because I assumed you were gonna want it.
So there's 2 quivers of arrows.
Alright.
some
Yeah, the thing
clothes.
is I don't have a bow, so.
I'm just
Alright.
gonna
Yeah,
look
that's-
lost
it's alright,
everything.
My
alright.
crossbow's gone, so.
Okay, so who?
Oh,
grabbed
that's
the
right. Because all of
bow?
our
I'll
stuff
grab
is.
the bow.
Wait. You said all of our stuff was recovered, correct?
Not
most of
all
it.
of your stuff was recovered.
So. Okay, I'm just gonna say what I have. I have a wooden shield, a scimitar, and a staff, and some leather armor.
Any of the wooden stuff is
Gone.
turned
Gone.
into firewood.
Crossbows and
Okay.
stuff.
What about
Crossbow
shield?
Shield bow
Oh.
and arrows again?
Don't have my shield
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So quarterstaff
armor.
would be gone too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What about my
So I
darts?
have
Staff would be
Your what?
gone,
My
so what I
darts.
have left is a scimitar.
Darts. Yeah, those are. They're scattered about, so you have to kind of dig for them.
Does it take the
They
stuff
don't
to
know.
the caravan? Because
Alright,
my,
I'll see.
my pack
Okay,
and my
fine.
thieves tool
Uh,
were in the
I
caravan.
got 2 daggers. 2 really small little
Ooh.
daggers.
Yeah, so like metal weapons,
Our
they're
packs
just gonna
were in
toss
the
them
wagons.
onto the
Okay.
ground, so like daggers, knives, and stuff.
Wagons.
Okay.
Some of us
That's
put
loot
stuff
for
on the
them
wagons.
too. But all the wooden stuff they're gonna want to burn.
Alright.
Okay.
Even leather armor or no? It's-
Few of us have leather armor.
Yeah, I did too.
No, they'd probably hang on to the leather armor. You could probably recover that.
Okay.
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 I'm gonna dig through the clothes and see if I can find anything fancy looking.
Okay.
Anyone
Well, I mean,
yes.
I lost a pair of fine clothes, so it's one of the things I
I
had.
lost my entire pack, so
That's
Yeah,
well,
they-
they lost
Wait.
everything.
They left
Wait.
your clothes on. They just took your armor and your weapons.
Oh, okay.
So I still have my smithing tools.
You could look around for them.
Okay. Because stuff like the holy symbol, the fine clothes, the explorer's pack.
You want to find
Are those gone?
dagger?
Oh, my.
So you can
Yeah, I
probably.
like a dagger.
So none of those things are actually the packs, right? Your packs aren't actually together per se. The packs are there. The shit that was in the packs, if it was food, it's probably been eaten. If it was
Oh, the food.
shiny, it's probably in this cave somewhere. You have to root around for it.
Okay.
Does that help a little
yeah,
bit?
it does.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of.
So,
what
I-
hasn't? Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I have a druidic focus, which is something I kind of keep around, and it kind of focuses my powers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking it was some sort of rock or something. Is that still on me, or did they take
Do
it?
you have some way of finding it? There are a lot of rocks in here.
I have an arcane focus.
No, because what it is I assumed it was a rock from the sort of center of my tribe, sort of like that.
Okay. Okay. So you'd recognize it if you saw it.
Yeah,
You just had to spend
yeah.
some time looking for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want me
And
to roll
you
for
have
it,
a
I can
similar
do that.
sort of
Yes.
talisman kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a holy symbol.
You got a holy symbol.
I
Okay.
got
So you
the
can root
token to
around for
remember my
those.
parents.
Okay.
Would you roll for that, or
The Durgan who rescued you is like, be quick about it. We
Okay.
have to get out of here.
so?
Can I ask the
What
Durgan
is
if they have
what
a
is
dagger?
unclaimed? Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna ask what's unclaimed for the items you listed.
Okay. So I got you claimed the armor.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot a couple of things.
Oh,
Okay, so claim the armor, but that's all I have jotted down at this point. I got 2 quivers of arrows, 2 cloaks, 2 different cloaks.
I
Who's-
took one.
And I got one.
I took
Okay,
one, and you
yeah.
took the other. Okay.
Okay, so
I took the bag you
Yeah.
said.
Basically, I'm
Yeah.
gonna take the cloak. I'm gonna put it on and sort of use it to sort of hide my ears and stuff, make it
Okay.
look like I'm not a half elf.
and then
Less
what else is there?
conspicuous.
There's a buckler.
It's a little shield.
Tiny little shield.
Oh,
Wee little
Okay.
thing.
it'll be shield.
There's a pair of light leather gloves.
I'll take the gloves.
Let's see.
There you go.
There
First.
is actually
You can never take them off.
there's a so you
They're
go
like
to
grafted
grab
to
the
your hands.
gloves,
Yeah.
but lying next to the gloves is actually a little steel. Looks like a little steel rod about yay long.
Oh,
length of
awesome.
a short sword.
Yeah.
Is
It's
it in a
well,
movie
it's
or
kind
not?
of wandish. It's definitely got some stuff scribed on it.
Can I take it?
It's right there.
Okay.
It's yours now.
Okay.
Did anybody send the boots he was talking about?
I was thinking
I
about
mean,
them. I
go ahead.
wasn't
I've
sure.
got plate mail, so I mean, whatever they are, you can use.
And
them.
I have your chainmail too, right?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
have it.
So I have the chainmail.
I got cloak.
I got that shield.
So you grab the gloves and the wand there, Brandon?
Yes.
Okay. You grab the shield. Is that right, Tyler?
Yep.
The gloves are not part of your.
There's like I said,
Avery,
there's
you
a
cursed
mace
this
sitting
dice.
next to the
No.
shield.
There's a mace.
You're wasting all
Yes.
your
Okay.
rolls.
I'll grab the mace.
Remember?
It looks like the 2 of them are styled by the same smith.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Who is going after? Oh, you said you grabbed a bag of stones.
Back stone.
Wait, it's a bag of. Can I sift
It's
through
a
that?
pair of stone. It's up to you all. It's loot. So somebody was going
Just shoot
after
him with,
boots.
like,
There's a
druid
pair of
fire.
boots.
Like, no. My biggest concern right now is finding my druidic folk, my rock.
I say one of the mail, one of the mail guys.
I grabbed the cloak and then I just started like
I
looking
can
around the
take the
entire
boots.
Yeah, you should.
sort of.
Unless
So
Rob wants them.
after a couple of rounds, you find your talismans.
Okay. Awesome. Cool.
Do you
Sorry.
want the boots?
No, I would have a
They're-
pull rabbit.
They look like they've been messed on. Probably want to clean them.
Oh. God. Jesus.
Wait, the talisman.
Wait,
Oh God.
were they leather boots?
Yes, so
Yeah. So
That's
they're
rough.
leather boots. They look comfy. They're not like hard leather boots or soft
Yeah.
leather boots.
So they
But they're in
Trying to pick
really
it up and just
pretty
kind
good
of put
shape.
the
If
side
they've
pocket of my
either
back.
just arrived here or if they've been here for a long time, then there's something special about it. Bum,
I
bum, bum.
got a boot.
So did you grab the boots?
Yep.
Avery?
Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
taking the boots.
The boots.
Alright, so we have a bow, 2 quivers of arrows,
Do you want to take the bow? You take the bow now.
buckler.
If you don't want the bow, I like the bow.
Yeah, you can take the bow.
I take the bow then.
Okay.
There's daggers
So
somewhere.
take
down.
the arrows too.
And the two quivers that you mentioned.
For the quivers?
How many arrows are in the quivers altogether?
I have complete descriptions for these things, which I'm going to have to send along to you all
Okay.
after tonight, because I'm already over time.
I
Yeah.
probably should
Yeah, it's already. Yeah, my watch beeped, and I'm just like. Oh,
Yep.
no.
Okay, so
was
other
that?
things
Oh,
that
no.
are in
Oh,
here.
no.
Okay, that's
I
okay.
can't say it in there. Sorry.
Okay.
I can't. I
That's what
can't.
was
I can't.
thinking, Brian. Just
Okay,
like,
so we got those.
Oh no.
So
That
when you
is
go to
not
get
good
the
anymore.
armor up,
Yep.
there's actually a girdle underneath it. It's a
here.
thick leather girdle. It looks like it. You could wear it with the armor if you wanted to.
Okay.
Don't do it, bro.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds
And when you go to pick up the quivers, Hannah.
Yep.
You notice when you pick one of them up, there's a bit of a twig about yay long. It's a little woody branch with a couple of really exceptionally lifeful leaves on it for a twig that's detached from its.
I'm gonna take it to stab people with.
No.
Worth a shot.
So I kind of look at it and I'm kind of.
Wait.
I'm gonna cast Druidcraft on it just to see what happens, and make it more luscious than it already is.
Tree goes through some of this. Look, looks at
Just to see what
So-
happens.
Universe
It-
implodes.
Doesn't get any greener in response to it.
Okay.
It's
But it is as a druid, you recognize it's kind of remarkable that the leaves are as green as they are. This thing's been
Yeah.
either somebody just yanked it off of a plant and it wound up here.
Yeah.
Because if it's been here any amount of time, they should be more desiccated than that. You look at the stones in the bag; they all have Durgan runes on them. Do you read Durgan by any chance?
Yes, I do.
You sure do. Oh my goodness. So this would be a really handy bag of stones for somebody who could cast spells.
Hello.
Yeah.
I
Hi.
think I heard something come from my bow right here, but it sounds like someone who hugs trees.
Aw.
Okay, so how's going to be the easiest way to do this? Should I just describe to you right off the bat what you... Well, you're going to have to figure out this.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I got notes of who's got
Yeah.
what.
I'll take the buckler since nobody else was going to take
Okay.
it apparently.
So,
Okay.
Why would I take
The
one?
The
what?
buckler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The rogue's gonna go around and smack someone in the face with a buckler.
Those were bucklers.
I know. They used to. Don't even know.
Well, good ones too. But you didn't want it, so.
All right.
I do not want it.
All
You
right.
just don't
Oh,
want it.
and as
You
you're
don't.
I want to stab people with that twig.
as you're pulling all your loot together, you notice three. They're little metal. Looks like a hooded lantern. But there's like a little knob on top. So you rotate the knob. Give it a second. It starts to begin to build and emanate a little bit of light. Apparently it's.
I can use that to get
At the point that you find that, the Durgan who rescued you is like, "Come now, you must sleep," and ushers you out another exit out of the cave back into the mountains there.
You do. All right.
Sweet.
Alright.
And
Great first session.
Yay!
Yay.
We